There are legends of people born with the gift of making music so true it can pierce the veil between life and death, conjuring spirits from the past and the future. This is Sinners.
So today we have a very special guest, both Marky and I's friend Alex. We all met through Kate, of course.
We did. Yeah.
Fucking Kate.
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah, so Alex, tell us who you are, where you're from.
Yeah. Okay, so hi everybody. I am Alex. I am currently in Washington State right now. Um, that's a long story. Work stuff. It'd be like that.
Work stuff, school stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
But we
But
all
yeah,
met
we
in
all
Durham.
met. Yeah, Durham, North Carolina. Love Durham. Love North Carolina.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but I am originally from Texas, which will definitely come in later as we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about things. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So give us some of your favorite movies, directors, genres. I remember when you and I met, Alex, like pretty early into it, you swore up and down, you're like, oh, I don't really like movies. Like, I don't know if I'm a big like movie person. I was like, you're full of shit.
All of these favorites say very differently.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, so my genre of movies, like, I don't know if I really have a favorite genre. Like,
Hmm.
mostly like action, I would say, like
Yes.
some
Yeah.
dramas and whatnot, and then some like, I don't know, just sci-fi. Love
Hmm.
sci-fi too.
Yep. You're a big
Um,
sci-fi like thriller person.
and then Surf's Up, one of my favorite movies of all time. So there's a few wild cards in there.
This list is so funny because it's like, you know, like standard classic American, you know, it's like Indiana Jones, The Goonies, Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction, American Psycho, and then Surf's Up. Just like me for real.
Hmm.
What are some what are some of your other favorite movies, Alex?
So Minari, another one that I super duper love. That one's kind of like less characteristic for me because I usually like dramas or like action or
Hmm.
sci-fi and like exciting stuff like that. But Minari is like this super good drama. And it's super sad, but it's also amazing. It's like so well done. So that's another one up there. Inception, love Inception. Just wow, yeah, definitely up there.
We'll be
And
talking
then
about
Fight
Christopher
Club.
Nolan later
Oh,
on.
yes.
There's a Nolan
So
connection, of
excited.
course. Yep. Fight Club,
Um,
a classic. Yep.
oh yeah, hell yeah, brother.
Fight Club is amazing. I love
Fight Club
Brad
is for
Pitt.
girls.
It is.
Yes. Yes,
It's
it
for the
is.
girls. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then Star Wars and Dune, obviously. Um, love
We
the
saw.
sci-fi stuff.
Did we see both Dunes together or just the one?
Okay, so we saw the
We
second
saw
Dune
Dune 2
together.
together. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And you helped me see it the right way. So like we
Yes, I
went
did.
and yeah, the first Dune I didn't like as much because I didn't see it the right way. I watched it like at home and
Mm-mm.
like I fell asleep because I just like didn't have good audio quality.
Yep.
Bad time. Second Dune, loved it. Amazing. But that's because I saw it with you.
Aww. Yeah, I was like, Alex, you're gonna like these movies. I swear to God, you need to come with me. Like, we saw it in, I think we saw it opening weekend, I want to say, in Dolby.
Yes. Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
And the seats were
So
like
good.
vibrating. The sound was so
Oh
good.
my
And the
gosh.
visuals were so crisp. And you were like, jaw dropped like half the movie. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, see? See?
Mm-hmm.
I
That
fucking
was
told you.
exactly it. So good.
It's
So
all about
good.
the experience.
Yeah, no, genuinely changed my movie watching experiences. I was like, okay,
I
so this is
remember
how
you
it's
saying
done.
that. You're like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to watch movies. I was like, yes. Yes, baby. Welcome. Welcome. You are now initiated into the film girly sphere.
Yeah.
So proud of you. Um, and what about favorite directors?
So Quentin Tarantino, love Mary Harron and George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. I've kind of put
Very
all of
classic.
those up there. Yeah, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, Mary Harron. That's a good pull because a lot of people still to this day don't realize that American Psycho is also for girls. So,
Yes.
Yes.
and it was directed by a girl. So
By girls, for girls.
for girls. I think it was written. The script was written by a girl as well. Um,
I believe that.
and the book was written by a gay man. So as was Fight Club. So
Wow.
yeah,
I
these
didn't know
movies
That's
are for girls and
crazy.
that's really
gays.
cool.
I feel so validated.
You should be because my whole life everyone's like, "Why would you like that? Oh, it's for like white boys." I'm like, "It's actually not." Because it's
No,
not.
no, no, because none of us here are white boys and we love
No,
it.
exactly. Period.
So, how did you first get into the blues?
So that's a very good question. So it actually started with my dad. He is a huge Eric Clapton fan. So that's kind of how I got into like the blues.
My mom loves him
Uh,
too.
yes, yes, it's like such like a mom dad like that generation loves. Oh,
That Unplugged
so
album
good.
fucking terrorized me. My mom played that Eric Clapton Unplugged in the car for like, I want to say 2 years straight. Terrorized me with that album, but yeah, it's like seared into my brain.
It really is. Like my dad would just play Eric Clapton on loop, car rides, the whole
Mhm.
deal and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, I feel like a lot of my childhood, it was mostly like listening to things that my parents liked to listen to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but then like as I started getting older and stuff, I started exploring like more music. And then I heard Rock Me Baby, which is on BB King's album Deuce is Wild. So that has
Classic.
Eric Clapton on it. And
Mhm.
so just like the pipeline from like Eric Clapton to BB King, and then just like you're just sucked into the blues. That's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there it is. There it is.
And what are some of your other favorite? I just love. So this is how Alex and I like really bonded. I don't know if it was before Sinners or after the movie, but you were like, no, I think it was before the movie. That's why I invited you. You were like, I fucking love blues music. I love the
Yes.
blues. I was like, what? I don't think we had ever talked about it before then, but I was like, yo, this bitch likes the blues too. Oh my god! Like, put me on. Like,
Yeah.
what? Who do you like? Like, what are you listening to?
Yeah, that's, yeah, I guess I forgot that about the background of all of this. I'm
Mm-hmm.
less of a movie person, but I am a blues gal. I do be a blues gal. I
Hell
am
yeah.
love the blues. Love um Freddie King, Otis
Mm-hmm.
Rush, Muddy Waters, Nina Simone, Albert King. Those are kind of like my tops. Those are kind of like the originals too. Like, like when
Uh-huh.
you're going
Yes.
through like the roots of blues, like those are just like the heroes of blues. It's like you
Yeah.
can't, it's so hard to beat. Like they're just like so ingrained in everything. Some more like modern blues I've been listening to a lot. I have to get you guys on Kristen Kingfish Ingram. Oh my gosh, he goes so hard. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of him or listened to him, but oh my
Yes.
gosh.
I recognized him in the end credits of this movie.
What?
Yeah. He's in that final scene. You didn't
Wait,
catch him?
what? No.
Alex! Oh my god. So that final scene where it's grown up old man Sammy playing,
Oh,
he's in his
wow.
band.
What?
Oh wow, I just blew your mind in real time. I love that.
Oh,
I was like, "Oh, I think that's the guy
what?
I've seen on TikTok." Like he's in that scene. I'll send you a clip,
Oh my
but
Yeah, I have
gosh.
to
it's fun.
immediately
Wow.
look at the clip after this.
That's why I thought
Oh,
you had put him in the notes because I was like, "Oh, she recognized that he's in the movie."
no, this is me in real time being like, what?
Yeah, he's in this movie. That's like a perfect connection. See?
Oh my
But you're
gosh.
like so steeped in the blues that like your mind made that connection without you even knowing that he's in this
No, I
movie.
had no idea. That's
I love when that
crazy.
happens. I love when that
So
happens.
good.
Yeah,
So
he's in
good.
here. I think
Wow.
Ludwig Göransson reached out to him to be a part of the band, that big Chicago scene at the end of the movie.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
that's so funny. So he's like the representation of the like that transition in Sammy's music from like acoustic to electric. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What? Oh my gosh. I don't know if my mind can be blown any more than it already has.
Baby, we're only 10 minutes in. I got so
Oh
much more for
my.
you.
This is
Wow.
just the beginning.
This is just the beginning, honey.
Wow.
Um, so, as we've already stated, we are covering the 2025 instant American classic blockbuster, soon to be Oscar nominated, Golden Globe winning Sinners by Ryan Coogler. This movie was on a $90 million budget, made almost $400 million at the box office.
Wow.
It is the number one original movie of the decade, I think, for highest grossing. And by original movie, I mean it's not a sequel, it's not an MCU property, it's not IP, it's not a remake, it's not based on a book, it's not based on a TV show. A fully original, authentic, beginning, middle, end story, written by Ryan Coogler, and it is now like the number one original original film of the 2020s, I believe. It like set records for just. I mean, basically, he's been rewarded for his creativity already, and this movie is less than a year old. So, take us through the cast, Lindsay. Who's in this movie?
So
It's a big
this,
cast.
yeah, it is. These are the most important characters, I would say, but there's a lot more. Michael B. Jordan as Smoke and Stack. Also, their names are Elias and Elijah Moore. Wunmi Mozaku as Annie. Miles Caton as Sammy Moore. Delroy Lindo as Delta Slim. Lee Jun Lee as Grace Chow. Yao as Bo Chow. Jamie Lawson as Perline. Omar Benson Miller as Cornbread. Haley Steinfeld as Mary. And Jack O'Connell as Remick.
What a cast. This cast is so fucking stacked. I don't know if either of y'all pay attention to the Oscars like that, but this year for 2026, this is the first year where there's going to be an Oscar given out for casting. Um
Wow.
and I'm pretty sure Sinners is in the bag for that one. I think
Yeah.
this is the best cast of 2025. It's
Mm-hmm.
not even close, really. And that's based on like the acting talent, the singing, the dancing, the range of these characters, and then also their chemistry as a singular unit. I mean, we're talking there's 20 people in this movie all, and it's so cohesive. And I think that's one of Ryan Coogler's strength. And I know I always point it out when we talk about Paul Thomas Anderson, Lindsay, like how he's so great at casting, especially non-actors in his movies. And I think Ryan has a very, very, very good eye and similar skill for
Yeah.
casting his movies, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah, especially with Miles Caton.
I
Found
know.
him.
Tell that story.
So they did an entirely global search for the character of Sammy Moore. And finally, they saw Miles' audition tape, and it was awful. It was in like a dark room. He was just like using his just entirely deep voice. Just that's it. And they reached
Wow.
out. He at all did not respond. They found out
They
he
couldn't
was
find
busy.
him.
Yeah, he was busy with another project and busy trying to graduate high school. And they finally,
What?
yeah,
Yeah.
they finally got just a hold of him. And then I think within like the second meeting, Ryan Coogler was like, "Yeah, this is
Yeah,
this
this is
is
the
who
guy."
the movie's gonna be about." Yeah,
Yeah, he was a senior in high school, Alex, when
yeah,
they auditioned. Yeah, he's a teenager.
yeah.
Well, I don't know if he is anymore, but he was at the time. Did you know that?
No, 17 minutes in, my mind is blown again. Again. Oh my
I
gosh.
I
Yeah,
think
this is his
Ellie,
first movie.
yeah, learning
What?
about just the production of this movie, I
Woo!
think it's the most fascinating I've ever like heard and read of with like movie production. It's phenomenal. It's outstanding.
Oh, that makes me so happy because I put like for behind the scenes knowledge for the listeners, I must have thrown, I want to say 8 hours worth of videos and like readings to do and just all sorts of articles and I really and music to listen to. I put like a deep dive of things I wanted to discuss and research I was doing just because I was so fascinated and I love this movie so much. That's one of the reasons we picked this movie. This was my number one rated movie and my most watched movie of 2025. I saw this movie 6 times. Four of those 6 times I saw in theaters. I feel like I was a literal day one champion and ambassador of this movie. You can
Oh
attest to
yeah.
this, the both of you.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
wa-
I think that when this movie was coming out, it's like every other day, I'm like, oh yeah, I went and saw Sinners again.
It literally was every other week for like 2 months.
Oh
Someone
my
would be like,
gosh.
"Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, I'm at the movies. I'm seeing Sinners." I'm
But
seeing Sinners.
it also stayed in theaters for so long
Long.
Oh my
and came
gosh,
back
yeah.
in theaters.
It was so successful, Alex,
Yeah.
that and it was such like a surprise. I don't know why they're surprised. They're always surprised when black people are good at things. I don't know why, but it was such
Classic.
a surprise hit that Warner Brothers ended up putting it back in theaters. Did you know this? Twice.
I think one of the videos you sent me mentioned that they brought it back in like December, like just
Yes.
last month. And I was
Yeah.
like, I
Yes.
mean,
It's been.
yes, but also like that's so like just people aren't really like the movie industry is like struggling right now. So for them to like
Yeah.
put it back in there, it's just
Yeah.
like, oh
And
my
it still
gosh.
hits. It's still hitting.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I had to miss the December re-release, just because like holiday stuff, and I just wasn't. I couldn't. I forget. Oh, because I was finishing up that job I don't have anymore. But I couldn't go for the December re-release. But I went for. I want to say they did one over the summer as well, like around July or so. And I was in there for that too. I kept seeing this movie. I kept going, and then every time I would bring a new friend. Like the first time I rewatched it, I brought Rebecca. Then the second time I rewatched it, I'm pretty sure I brought Alex. The third time I rewatched it, I brought Kai, and then I saw it one more time in that original run by myself. So we'll get into some of the like format, like the special formats of this movie and how it was shot in IMAX and just how revolutionary it was from like a cinematography perspective. But I'm just such a slut for that anyway. So I saw it in IMAX twice, I saw it in Dolby twice, and then I saw it at home on TV twice. So I've seen this movie in pretty much every format multiple times.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really dedicated to my craft. And one of the things that I mean, there's so many things I love about this movie as like a Black American descendant of chattel slavery. This movie is just like I felt like it felt like it was made for me, and I feel like that's so rare in mainstream cinema. Like that review we read by Misty Avenger about the price of being let in and how as like a black audience member and as like a film enjoyer you have to like basically forget racism and forget yourself, and there's never enough black critics critiquing black films and making black films, and just how this whole culture around quote unquote prestige cinema and like the highbrow cinema is always just super white. And this was like the first and pretty much only time last year that I felt like I was going to the movies to see a movie for me and about me, and it was just so special. Like that shit hit me in my soul. Like I couldn't get enough of this movie. I would not stop talking about it for months, and I will not stop talking about it for another few months, I fear.
As you should. As
Thank
you
you.
should.
I'll never stop talking about this movie. So I want to blow your mind a third time, Alex, because the original, I don't know if you listen, I can't remember where I got this information from. I think it was from one of the videos, but Ryan had mentioned, or maybe, no, I think Delroy Lindo in one of his interviews that we watched had mentioned that the original script opened with Remick, the vampire, that scene of him dropping
That's
into
right.
the movie. The movie was supposed to
What?
start. Yeah, haha, got you again. So the
Oh
movie was
my.
supposed to start there with Remick instead of Sammy in the original or in the final version that we see. How do you think that would have changed this story had we flipped those scenes and started with Remick instead of Sammy? Because as the movie stands in its final form, we don't see or hear Remick until 40 minutes into this movie, and not until 40 minutes in that first viewing did anyone in the audience even know that this was a vampire movie. How does that change things for you if we flip those scenes around?
Oh, wow. That is such a good question. I mean, so I think that would have totally changed the movie, actually. I think I'm glad that they introduced it with Sammy because that way it was centered around Sammy and not Remick. Like, I feel like that would have negated some of the points in this movie if they started it out with Remick. And then it would be kind of like contradictory because like this whole entire movie is about like cultural vampirism.
Mm-hmm.
Vampirism?
Yep.
Vampirism?
Vampirism. I know it sounds wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of my take on that. I think I would have probably been a little disappointed if that was how it started. I don't know. I love that they started it with Sammy.
Me too. It's so much more mysterious. And I know I remember you had the popcorn in front of your face during that first scene because I was
It was
like,
up in the
Alex,
air.
I was like, Alex, you have to see this. But yeah, it starts off with these jump scares of Sammy's memory of what had happened the night before. And you get those flashes of vampires, and you don't even know they're vampires really at that point. You just see like these quick flashes of monsters, and the audio that accompanies it is just like this howling, screeching, and you're like, holy shit, what happened to him? And you see he's bloody, and he's panicked, and his guitar is smashed into pieces, and he's by himself. Where is everybody? It's just so. I feel like it makes it so much more mysterious, and it kind of gives you like just a breadcrumbs you, so that
Yes.
you know something's coming, but you don't know who or when or what exactly is coming. I love that Ryan made that change, and I think it does, like you said, it pulls the focus away from. I feel like the more traditional Hollywood version of this story is just all about the monsters and the
Mm-hmm.
vampires and like the horror and the gore that's associated with these kinds of stories, and there's no like culture and depth and life outside of, the classic just horror of the
Yes.
genre, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally.
So what happens in this movie, Lindsay?
So, on one fateful night, twin brothers and their musician cousin and a group of sharecroppers encounter vampires in Jim Crow, Mississippi.
Yes. And we already got into our history a little bit with it, but you mentioned earlier, Alex, that it's we've had some memorable movie going experiences together outside of Sinners. So
Oh yeah.
I wrote some down because, as you know, I'm an obsessive letterboxed person. So as a obsessive letterboxed user, I was able to go back and see, like, oh yeah, I watched this movie with Alex. I saw this one with Alex. So this leads right back into your favorite genres. You said you love action, thrillers, sci-fi. So these are the movies we've seen together. Monkey Man, Dune 2, Beekeeper, and Sinners. So, describe some of our movie going experiences, Alex. And I know, Lindsay, you were a part of some of these as well. I think Monkey Man.
Yeah, I know I saw
Um,
Monkey Man. I did see Dune 2 with you, but I don't. Was that with Alex too?
I think that I might have seen it with just Marquita.
I
Yeah,
think that
Dune
that's
was with
2. Yeah.
Rebecca.
okay.
Because I also kept taking the girlies to see Dune too.
This is true. This is true.
I was like, everybody, we're gonna go see Dune 2 again. But yeah, I think
Says
when Alex and I saw it, it was just the two of us.
yeah, I remember you're just taking all of your friends on little field trips to see Dune and Sinners.
I love it. I loved it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, Marquita, you have single-handedly changed my movie watching experience. And I mean that so honestly. Like, I
I'm gonna
I feel
cry.
like, yeah, maybe it was after like COVID or something. I kind of like stopped going to the movies.
I remember you
Um,
saying that you hadn't been in a long time.
yeah, I think Monkey Man, that might have been like the first movie I saw in theaters in like a while, like a really long while.
Yeah.
So that was like, that was so much fun. It was so much fun. And again, we love our action films, so.
Yep. We had to see a Jason Statham movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then yeah, Beekeeper, just like such a fun and just like purely action, like just so so fun. And then yeah, I guess I already kind of talked about Dune 2 and how like going to see it in theaters with you was just so different than when I saw Dune the first time. So like maybe I have to watch the first Dune again and yeah, maybe I have to watch it with you because it seems
I
like you
think
have this
so.
magical ability to just make it all the movies just fall into place. So
Stop. You know what
I
it
mean
is?
that with my full heart.
It's because I listen to my friends and I like love you guys and I know like what you'll respond to and I want to like have that experience with you. And I basically, I mean, Lindsay can speak to this.
Yeah, well, I one of my most favorite movie experiences ever will be when you showed me Cabaret, and I love it even more that you were just waiting for each like crazy plot twist and wanting to see my reaction. Like the one
I
that
love
I
watching my friends watch movies. I
it's
love
a
it.
it's a passion of yours. It's a passion that everyone should have.
Oh, I love you guys. Yeah, it's like there's something about I mean, it actually it's funny. We can link it back to Sinners. Ryan Coogler in his script apart interview that we listened to, he talked about kind of that euphoria of having a shared experience like in an audience and as a participant of an audience and the way that that's how he came up with the idea to write that infamous piercing the veil scene was him recalling all these moments of like collective joy and like a collective consciousness that we're all tapping into when we're experiencing things together in a room as human beings, and that like intangible like electricity that courses through all of us when we have moments like that. Um, and that's the feeling I had when I saw that scene for the first time. And I walked out of that theater and I was like, I'm telling everybody about this. Like, you gotta come with me. Like, I promise you, I would never bring you to something like what I feel like that's a big part of what I really appreciate you guys saying that, by the way. I think that's a big part of what a lot of film fans are lacking when they are showing people things. It's like you're showing me something that you like. You're not thinking about what the person you're showing it to will
Hmm.
like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
it's like a more thoughtful approach to I don't know, my film ambassadorship. Like I want people to love it as much as I do and see what I see and I like to see what other people are seeing that I don't see. It's like a way to connect with people and I feel like a lot of people don't use film as a way to connect. They use it as a way to kind of like gatekeep and like disconnect from people and make it a like a barrier instead of a bridge. So I don't feel that way about movies. That's not how I go into things
Yeah,
as an audience member.
well, loving film is such an art. It's like such a intimate, personal thing to do when you love a specific movie that just feels like it was written just for you. And just like you, I, I'll never get over you showing me Cabaret just ever. Like, just, I would have never gone out of my way to watch that movie probably, but you
I
knew,
know.
you're like, no, you're
You're
gonna
gonna love
love
this.
this. Yeah.
Because you love Dirty Dancing. And I was like,
Yeah.
I can make those connections because I have a pretty big knowledge of film. I was like, all right, there's a connection here. I know why Lindsay will like this. I just need to put her in front of it, you know?
Yeah, it's like
And
it's just a it's such a personal thing to you. You're like, I need everyone to be experiencing this too.
yeah, it's a way to share with people, and I think Ryan brings that same love and openness to his work. Maybe that's why I respond to it so well, you know? Um because I just love pretty much everything he's done, but this is his at this point in his career, this is his masterpiece. This is next level work from
Yeah.
somebody whose work I already enjoyed so fucking much.
Yeah, I like a long time ago I had seen Fruitvale Station.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that it was him who directed that, and that was so amazing to
You
revisit.
didn't?
No, and then like getting to pair together how like it's Michael B. Jordan and they've already worked together. It's so cool.
Yeah, way back. Yeah, since
Yeah.
Fruitvale, then Creed, then Black
Oh,
Panther.
Creed, so good.
Mhm.
Yeah, Creed fucking rules. That
So
was one that
good.
I came to later. I saw that way after. I don't think I saw Creed until I had seen maybe even the second Black Panther. It was a while. It's pretty recent that I've seen that movie. Yeah, because I watched 1 and 2 leading up to Creed 3 when it came out. So I binged them all basically as the trilogy, and man, those movies fucking rule.
Yeah, they do.
I love the Creed movies, and it's also such a beautiful thing to see. Again, speaking to like film ambassadorship, to see Ryan start off as like the director of Michael B. Jordan with Fruitvale Station and so on,
Mhm.
and then by Creed 3, Michael is directing the movie himself.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, look at like the he really knows how to bring up people with him. And the cinematographer as well, Autumn Durald Arkapaw, who he got hooked up with on Black Panther 2. That's how she ended up being the cinematographer for Sinners because they had worked together on a
Oh.
Marvel movie. Yeah, so he loves to uplift his people, and I really think you feel that through the cast as well. Like you could
Mhm.
tell everybody loved
Oh yeah.
making this movie and being there with him making this movie in the swamps of Louisiana in like 100-degree heat. It just feels like everybody, you can feel the love and passion.
So what were some of your overall themes, Alex?
So I feel like in Sinners there were so many different themes, but I think the ones that really stuck out to me, I think that aspect of music and community and how you can just like viscerally feel that throughout the whole movie. That was like a huge theme for me. And then there was also that theme of breaking the cycle of white oppression and kind of like the consequences of that, the realities of that,
Mm-hmm.
and then um, yeah, and then also this theme of cultural colonization, which they have just this amazing metaphor of using
Yeah,
vampires. Like that's just
vampires,
genius,
right?
genius.
I
Yeah,
love
so
that too.
yeah, those are the big ones for me. But I know that yeah, there's so much to unpack in this movie.
Yeah, it's just layer on layer on layer.
Yes, yeah.
So what about you, Marquita, for your themes?
Yeah, like Alex, I had, of course, cultural vampirism and being quote unquote let in to the juke joint. And the juke joint in this movie is a giant metaphor for black art and a black creative space. And the twins say, like, this is a space that's for us and by us. And what happens when you let the wrong ones in, or there's people there who are in a black space who aren't there to authentically participate in black culture. They're there to leech, to suck the life out of it, to capitalize on it, to profit. and that's where the character of Remick is so genius, just to write him basically as a kind of a representation of what happens to black artists in music, in film,
Mm-hmm.
in in just fashion. I mean, we see it all the time and time and time again. How many times have you seen a Kardashian wearing something that's like, yeah, we've been doing that since the 70s. Like, this isn't what's so exciting about this.
Mm-hmm.
And white America losing their minds and being like, wow, they're so revolutionary. I'm like, for stealing something that, like, black Americans have been doing for 2 generations? Okay. Um, and it's not just them, but it's just they're a big representation of that kind of cultural vampirism and how they use black culture to advance their own agenda and their own wealth and fame at our expense constantly. Um, and Mary, the character of Mary
Oh my
specifically,
gosh.
is woo. Okay, Lindsay, you got some.
I am
Uh huh.
so curious, like you
Where are
guys'
you at with
thoughts on
Mary?
Mary.
Yeah. All right, I'll go first. But Mary as like a very very like light skinned one black grandparent. So in Jim Crow, Mississippi, she would be considered black. Like, we'll start there. Like, I know some people maybe and like who are not black who are watching that movie don't understand that, but in this time period, in that space, Mary is not white to other white people. But to us, to black people, she's not, she's not really one of us either, because she's passing, because she has access to both the black and white worlds. Mary's the one who actually gets them all killed,
Yeah, it's
but
literally all Mary.
Grace Grace got the blame for it. And I'm with you, Alex. I'm also a Grace defender, and especially after watching the Dolly Lee interview,
Oh,
the
yes,
the
yeah.
Chinese cultural consultant on this movie. She's like, you know what? Grace got a lot of flack for letting the vampires in, but Cornbread let Mary in.
Mm-hmm.
Mary is the one who got to just waltz right on into the juke joint and got everybody killed. That it's kind of interesting. I feel like Mary and the Chows are a lot related as far as getting to walk between two worlds,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
as being one thing, but also having access to white spaces at that time that the black characters in this movie and in real life America did not have access to at this time. I just think it's very interesting that Mary kind of got let off the hook when
Mm-hmm.
she's the actual. It's always the light skins.
Is I think Miss in the article Misty talked about Mary's role, and it's like her proximity to whiteness
Mm-hmm.
and her entitlement and feeling like
Yes.
she should be the voice to go talk to these people, whereas Grace was having like a visceral reaction to her personal experience with
Mm-hmm.
Remick speaking her native language. It's
Right,
it's night and day.
and trying to. I feel like Grace was also doing it out of protection because he
Yeah.
said, "We're going
Yeah.
to town and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna kill everybody there." At that point, what are you supposed to do? Like, just sit in the juke joint all night and let him do what? Like, all of those vampires are outside; they're not going anywhere. They're gonna go to town. Um, and I do think she could have been a lot smarter about it. I think the
Yeah.
way that Grace went about it was fucking dumb.
I remember when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was like, "Oh my gosh. What is she doing?"
For
Um
context, Alex is Chinese American, so
oh yes, yes, for
we never said
podcasters.
that.
Yes, that should
People
be
can't see us.
mentioned. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah,
First time doing a podcast.
yeah, my
Yes,
bad.
I should have introduced myself as Alex Ing. Yeah.
Yes. From Texas. But yeah,
Texas.
I specifically asked you, Alex, because of your Southern perspective as a Texan, your Southern Chinese perspective, and your perspective as like a blues loving person who like what this movie means to you. So yeah, we should have said it earlier in the episode, but Alex is Chinese for those of us who can't see us. Um, and when we got to that scene where Grace let all the vampires in, I looked over
Oh
at
my
Alex and she was like,
gosh.
"Of course."
I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Oh
yeah, that
man.
tracks."
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's why this movie is so amazing because there's
It's
so many,
nuance.
yeah, exactly. There's so many layers. Um, yeah, like I was like when Lindsay, you were talking about like feeling seen, and Marquita, you're also talking about this, like feeling seen in a movie. Like this,
Mm.
yeah, like exactly what you were saying. Like this movie, like truly spoke to me, and I wasn't expecting that from a like a Mississippi vampire
Yeah.
movie. Like I
Yeah. And I don't think I told you going into it like anything about like the Delta
no.
Chinese and yeah, because I wanted you to like have that authentic moment like I had when I saw it for the first time of like seeing this like Chinese grocery character like come on screen and have like the thickest Mississippi accent. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. I was like, Alex.
No, it was so
I
amazing.
immediately thought of you.
It's crazy because so my mom, she grew up in Denton, Texas, which is
Hmm.
super southern, and had just immigrated there from Vietnam. They have like Hong Kong origins originally.
Hmm.
But yeah, so actually my mom's side of the family also like they have a southern twang to their
Yeah.
like accent. It's so interesting. And I like was not expecting that in a yeah, in a Mississippi vampire movie. I was like, what?
Oh my God. Ryan really did his research on that.
Oh my
And
gosh,
when
yeah.
we were doing our research behind the scenes, like seeing the real people who were in the Delta during this time period and their experience as like Chinese Americans who are now been there for 5 generations being treated as if they're still like foreigners and others in Mississippi and just in American culture in general. I love the inclusion of Ryan as like a writer and as a director to keep it as authentic as possible with the inclusion of the chows and I don't know. There's just it's so genius to not just make it black and white, like you said, Alex.
Yes.
There's a like if you want to speak more to like the Chinese grocery store aspect of it, or like the way they were able to, like Mary, walk between black and white culture during that time period.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, first of all, love that Ryan kind of included this like very niche history into the
Hmm.
movie. I am also just like, it's so like heartwarming to know that he also got like a historical consultant. So that was
Yes.
something that was part of the homework, and that was
Hmm.
some of the videos you sent.
Hmm.
That was like super cool because I was watching one of the videos of um, the historical consultant for the Chow family that's
Yeah.
represented in Sinners. And I remember she was talking about how she was like, yeah, like I don't know if like anyone's gonna care, if anyone's gonna notice, but like this section should be Toisan and this section should be Canton, and like talking about dialects and like I saw that and I was like, me, like I am gonna notice, I care. The amount of times I've seen movies, so for background, I speak Cantonese,
Hmm.
um, and the amount of times I've seen movies like Rush Hour, like so many popular movies, they just
Yeah.
like flip back and forth between Cantonese and Mandarin, which
Oh,
for most people, like they're not going to notice that. But for me, who only speaks Cantonese, like that stands
you
out
notice.
so much to me and it bothers me so much. So it felt
Hmm.
like a direct hug from Ryan Coogler when,
Aw.
so like just watching the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, like they're so consistent with their
Yeah.
dialects. And I was
And
not expecting that.
right? And you can hear the difference between dialects and like what that would mean, like historically and culturally at that time for people to still have access to that language or that specific dialect of a language. That's just so I didn't know that part either until we watched the cultural consultant, by the way, her name is Dolly Lee, And the reason that she got the job was through this Delta Chinese documentary that she had made for Al Jazeera. It's just like a little 8-minute video about how the Chinese immigrants had come to the Delta, and at the time, this is I think post Civil War, there was 345,500 black people in the Delta and only 743 Chinese people. Um,
Honestly, I feel like that was the super cool thing about this movie is that like as an Asian American, some of this history was new to me too.
mm,
And I feel like there's just this history of um like Asian Americans being a model minority.
mm,
And kind of like how Sinners portrays it is like we do have the freedom to kind of like move back and forth between
mm-hmm,
spaces. Um, but what's like really, really cool about this movie is that like, and one thing that I don't think Asian Americans do enough is that like Ryan Coogler lifted up Asian Americans in this movie, and that's just like amazing to me because like I feel like Black people and Asian Americans have kind of had a complicated relationship
mm-hmm,
historically.
mm-hmm,
Um, but this is kind of like setting such a good example of like what Asian Americans should be doing in all sorts of spaces where Asian Americans are included, but Black people are not. And it's just like because I could feel like how amazed and how awesome it felt to be represented
mm-hmm.
there. And it's like, wow, why are Asian Americans not doing that? And, like reciprocating
That is
that
a
with Black
great
people.
fucking question.
So,
Um, I hear you there. Yes,
yeah,
it is deeply kind of one-sided our inclination to, like I said, let everybody in. I
yeah, it's
think
just
just
like the
as a
movie.
culture where we want to, I don't know, it's just so deeply ingrained into our culture as like Black Americans to just kind of, we don't believe in like gatekeeping and that kind of, I mean, I don't want to speak for the whole diaspora, but I feel like there's a more openness on our end and a more of a willingness to let people in our space and to participate in our culture. But then, like you said, Alex, when that shoe is on the other foot and it's
Mm-hmm.
time for us to be let in to other spaces or other cultures, it's always like a hard get out of here, you don't belong here, um, or making up some arbitrary reason why black people shouldn't be in this curated space.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, also didn't Ryan find out his wife's family? His wife is black for context, but she also has Delta Chinese ancestry, right?
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw
that's
that and I
so
was
cool.
like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So this movie is like it's so personal to him, but it's also so broad to like it's just so uniquely American, this
Yes, yeah.
movie. And I love that you get it from all different perspectives. I feel like if this were written by a non-black person, you're right, that perspective would have been either very one-sided or non-existent. And
Oh, yeah.
I also love that he, like you said about inclusion, Alex, he also includes the
Yes,
Choctaw
yeah.
tribe, and the Native Americans in this movie play such a pivotal part
Mm-hmm.
early on. Once we meet Remick, the vampire, and realize like what is happening in this movie, they, out of the goodness of their hearts, and again, this would not be fucking reciprocated. They go knock on the door of the KKK to try to help them and
Oh my
say,
gosh, yeah.
"Hey, did you let that guy into your house by chance? He's a fucking vampire." And they're like, "Get out of here, you don't belong here," like pointing a gun in his face. And he's like, "All right,
I tried to help you.
all right, y'all got it." um, did you? I know you had pointed out in the notes, Lindsay. Do you want to talk about that, like the Native American aspect of
Yeah. Um,
what did you have in your notes?
I do want to say, like, this movie is like I agree with you so much. It's so American, but it's like the most historically accurate depiction of an American movie, and including like the native tribe telling them like, "Hey, you know, that's a vampire in your house right now." Then we never really see them again, and that's
They're
also extremely accurate
Mm.
to the history.
of America.
Yeah, like they just
Yeah.
kind of disappear. Like they have all of this wisdom, but they're silenced just just like any other community.
Wow, yeah. I
Nail
actually,
on the
that's a
head,
really
Lindsay.
good, super good point.
Yeah, they have that, like we talked about with Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
Especially when you were doing your research about horticulture and the connection to the land of native peoples across this country, and what we lost as a nation, as a culture,
Yeah.
when those people were murdered, and starved to death.
Mhm. Yeah, all of the knowledge that they knew specifically about this land, just like their
It died.
tribes being wiped out, their information just died.
Yeah, and I love the way he. It was so subtle the way Ryan wrote that, to just have that one little scene of like, "Hey, we're trying to help you, but if y'all don't want to listen to us, fine. Like,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you can suffer the rest of this movie." Speaking of cultural consultants, Alex, there was also a Choctaw consultant just for that one little scene.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Ryan, let's go.
Ryan, to get the costumes, the language, the
Wow.
everything. The I think the bird imagery as well. Like there's something to it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he brought in a cultural consultant just for that one, what, 30 seconds they're on screen in this movie. He was
That's
like,
amazing.
he came correct. It was like, I also respect him as a filmmaker so much, as someone who, because I have that same tendency. I want to do as much research as possible about pretty much any subject that I'm interested in, and bring that to my creative outlets. I just really relate to him as like a creative person. The way he isn't just so flippant and dismissive of other people's culture and experiences and knowledge. I love that. So I had a question, that would you, okay, so a big part of this movie is once people are turned into vampires in this movie, and this is something that is also not really done a lot in a traditional vampire movie. It's not, I'm not saying this is the first time it's ever been done. That's not true. But in this version, in Ryan Coogler's version of a vampire movie, once you're turned, you join this like collective, this hive mind, so to speak, where every vampire all of a sudden has the knowledge, the language, the culture, the memories of everyone who's been turned. They become one. And it's a way, like, there's a part of that, and I love that it is kind of a. It's kind of a question. Would you be turned? Would you, if you were in this situation, say exactly as you are now, Lindsay, would you, as a woman, would you be turned? Alex, you as a Chinese American person, would you be turned? Me as a black woman, would I be turned? Would I, like, what are we bringing to that experience of, um, what are we, from our personal experiences, and especially in this time period, would you be tempted to get turned and just let it all go and be a part of the collective?
I I would like to think that I could be able to fight it off, but I fear I would be turned.
That's real. That's real. What about you, Alex?
I, so I think, yeah, that's like such a good question. I think that one of the interesting things about sort of like that hive mind that you were talking about, I feel like there. I think there's like a loss of identity, and so I feel like I'd be out there fighting for my life. I would be throwing hands. I also, Lindsay, I don't think you would get turned. My take, I don't think you would get turned from my perspective of you.
I appreciate that.
I don't
No,
think you
No.
would get turned.
I think I have a pretty good intuition about people, and
Mm-hmm.
if anything, if I were that scenario, I'd be like, yeah, Annie's right. Annie's definitely
Right.
right. Like we need to listen to Annie right now.
Why is nobody listening to Annie? Yeah.
Literally.
I think that's a good point, Lindsay. And for me, I think that I'm like right in between the two of you. I would wrestle with it a lot. I think there is something so appealing to just being absorbed into
Yeah.
one big collective of people and have the knowledge, the experience of everybody's culture, everybody's music, everybody's memories, languages, so on and so forth. Like there is something about me as such a like a curious person and such a person who wants to share um
Hmm.
and comes from a more like collectivism culture as a black American. There is something that is a little appealing to that, to be like, well, we're all one together now. So now I don't have to worry about getting killed by the KKK.
Yeah.
Now I
That's
don't
a
have to
good
fucking
point.
now I don't have to worry about not being able to use a water fountain. Now I don't have to worry about not being allowed to use a bathroom or to I don't have to worry about if I'm going to get a job or not or if people are going to hunt me down in the street for no reason. Like all of that goes away. But in return, you have to give up all of yourself. Like you said, Alex, you're so much of our cultures is just naturally eroded over time just by being a minority in this country. I feel like what I do have left, I think deep down I would fight tooth and nail to preserve what little I do have for myself that makes me myself, you know? So I would like to think that I also wouldn't get turned, but man, I would think about it. I would really
Like,
the just
well,
my I would I would think about it because my experiences, like I've been experiencing racism since I was like 2 years old. Like to just not have to do that anymore would be fucking great. Like
Just
that would be
vibes.
super. I would never have to think about it again. There is no there's no racism anymore because there's no black anymore. There's no white anymore. There's no hierarchy anymore. We're all one. We're being kind to one another.
That
I
was such a good impression.
Thank you.
oh my gosh, I remember when this was before I first saw Sinners, but you were reenacting that scene, and I like clung on to that, like listening to you say that until I saw the movie and got to see that specific scene of it happen. It was amazing.
Cornbread is the MVP of this
But
movie. We'll
Oh
get
my
into him later.
gosh.
I want to talk about a scene really quick. Just I guess
Hmm.
like about the loss of humanity
Hmm.
when you turn a vampire and Annie's choice of
Oh
wanting
yes,
Smoke
yes.
to kill her.
Uh huh.
And after he does, it's Stack and Mary and they're like, "What are you doing? Like you ruined it." And I'm so fascinated from that one scene. So it's like, did they lose their humanity? Were they on the other side of not having to experience the grief of like the culture's struggles? It's so
Oh,
fascinating.
oh,
And
that's a
it's
deep
because
question.
like what would have happened if everyone were to be on that other side?
I I think from there, is it Mary or is it Stack? One of them is like, you ruined it. We were all going to be
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
Like, and it. Why would you take her away from us? Like,
Hmm.
yeah, they were pissed because Annie Annie didn't want to be a part of the collective. She's such an interesting character because kept so much she was able to keep so much of her cultural traditions and her her knowledge of hoodoo and of folk medicine. And I don't know if either of you noticed, but there's a scene when we first meet Annie. She's not speaking anything American in that scene. She's speaking Yoruba, which is Nigerian. Like it's a Nigerian dialect. So she still has her West African roots that she can pull upon, plus her Louisiana roots that she's pulling upon, her hoodoo practice, her Yoruba culture. Like she's bringing so much behind her as a human being and as a spiritual human being. And yeah, she's like, absolutely the fuck not. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
these vampires to have access to that because that's me, you know, like that's my essence.
Yeah, it's like she already knows what's on the other side, and she's like, no, I'm gonna be with my daughter.
Right. She's like, I don't want to live forever. I have people. I love the way she says it. She's like, I have people waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that line hit so hard.
Woo!
I was like,
I know. I know. I got like emotional thinking about it. But yeah, she's got. We've all got people. If you believe in that, we've all got people waiting on the other side for us. So why would I stay here and have eternity without them? And I think that is so beautiful and fascinating to think about. Ryan Coogler, for some more context, I believe he said this in the Script Apart interview, maybe also in the Directors Guild interview, but he talked about basically the loss of some very close people to him that led him to making this movie, to writing the script, and using the vampire metaphor to process loss and death. I just love that he, how do I want to put this? When he lost Chadwick Boseman, like what that did to him as a creator, as a friend, as a close person in his life, having to take that grief and then immediately turn around and make Black Panther 2 without him, and just what that did to him as like a creative person. So to go from Black Panther to Wakanda Forever, I don't know if either of you have seen it, but the whole movie is about grief because they have to kill Chadwick Boseman's character in the movie in order to keep the Marvel machine going. They can't just be like, "Oh, he's off screen somewhere." They had to
Mm-hmm.
kill him. So it's like you're being faced with the death of your friend and your one of your closest coworkers and like someone that he called a brother, and then turn around and make the movie he was supposed to make with him without him. Michael B. Jordan as well. They were very close, and like a lot of the cast of Wakanda Forever had to come off of the loss of Chadwick and make it without him and make it as if he was still there, you know? Um,
yeah.
I think that's such a vulnerable place to come to this project is facing death like that and using it in like such a beautiful creative way to kind of like get that off his chest and reach over to the other side. Like you said, Lindsay, like he's got people waiting for him on the other side too, and I feel like he's like reaching through, you know, to Chadwick, to his uncle James, who
Mm-hmm.
he says inspired this movie a lot. He's a man from Mississippi who loved the blues and taught him about it. All the way out in Oakland, California, you know, he had that
Wow.
connection to Mississippi through his uncle James. I just feel like this movie is just a love letter to people on the other side and to being able to process loss and death in such a massively entertaining and like commercial property. Very few people have that level of skill and emotional maturity
Mm-hmm.
as a
Yeah.
creator to do that, you know? Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead, Alex.
Oh, I think that's like such a good point. Like I think on that note, you can kind of like feel that sort of grapple that he's having with grief like throughout the
Mm,
movie because I feel like like choosing the vampire direction is almost like a denial. Like you don't have to deal with that loss or like the death. It's like
Oh,
alternative to
right.
death
Yeah.
in a way.
There's no death. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like you can kind of feel that in like Annie's decision. It's like, do I kind of just accept the fact that my friends are gone, or do I join them and just kind of live in this state of denial?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you're stuck in limbo between life
Mm-hmm.
and death forever. When Ryan pitched this movie to Delroy Lindo, he said it was an exploration of the price of freedom.
Wow.
Um, and I just thought that was so deep. Like it's such a it's such a great way to describe what being changed into a vampire would do to a person. Because like you said, yeah, they're free, but are they really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also Ryan had described this as a visual representation of the blues. So I had a question for the both of you. How do you feel that this movie is a visual representation of the blues? Do you want to go first, Alex, as the blues aficionado? Like, what does the blues
Sure.
mean to you, and how do you feel like this movie visually represents that?
So I think what makes the blues so interesting is that it, like the way that it's formatted, it's almost like the music and whoever's performing and singing is also like having a conversation. Like everyone's kind of like talking, and there's this like communal aspect to it. Like a key part of blues is like, um, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's almost like you'll echo back and forth. Like the person who's singing will say something and then have like kind of like prompt audience or like whoever's
Call and
around them.
response.
Yes, yes, that's what it is.
Call and
Yeah.
response, and we do that in gospel music as well.
Yes, yeah. It's like spiritual but not spiritual, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just like you can feel the community and you can feel sort of like the soul and the heart there. And then also like just it's it is like one of the original forms of art that was taken from Black people. And so to
Yep.
use that in this movie, it's just adding to like already these amazing layers of yeah, of just like things being taken from Black people. And I kind of I remember I went on a vent actually like today in the notes. I was talking about the music thing.
Yeah, please bring this up because I had forgotten that we had this conversation afterwards. But what you said, yeah, let me skip down to it because this was so funny and so interesting. And I was like, yeah, yeah,
Oh
no,
my
whatever you
gosh.
picked up on there when you were talking about music was absolutely correct. Oh, where is it?
Okay, okay,
Oh,
I
there it is.
found
Yep,
it.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so actually, so I thought about this because it wasn't until today that I remembered it, but after me and Marquita watched the movie, I was telling her about this conversation I had recently with one of my white friends,
Hmm.
and we were like talking about blues music, and she was like I already known like what kind of music she likes to listen to and stuff, and like we were talking about blues music, and she was like, yeah, like I don't know, I just like don't really like the blues. But then also in that same sentence was talking about Eric Clapton and Cream, and I was like, hold on.
Have I got a story for you? Yeah,
I
when you're
was
like,
like,
hey, guess what?
oh.
That's the blues.
I was like,
That's actually the
oh,
blues that was stolen from Black Americans and brought over to England.
yes,
You're welcome.
literally. So that, yeah, I just like it happens so often, and this is just like one example of like so many of white artists that are making something inspired by Black musicians palatable for white people. And so it's not that she doesn't like the blues, it's
She
that
doesn't like when black people sing the blues.
yes, yes. And this happens so often. So, for context, Eric Clapton was collaborating with B.B. King, Freddie King, Buddy Guy, the OGs in blues.
But a guy who is the grown version of Sammy in this movie.
Yes, yes,
Yep.
exactly. And so, yeah, yeah, I have a visceral reaction to things like that. Recently, my research advisor, um, he is a huge jazz dude. We were at a conference in New Orleans recently, and he was telling me about how the Beatles were actually super influenced by jazz, another thing that was developed by black musicians. Um, the
Yep.
Beatles also just took that,
And the
reworked it.
Who, and the
Oh my
Rolling
gosh,
Stones,
yes. Oh my
and
gosh.
and and
Everyone,
and
literally
all
Hmm.
of
everyone.
all
I
of
put
those
this
rock
one down
artists.
to Mac Miller. So that he's just such a
Ooh!
common one because
Yeah.
I love Mac
Yeah.
Miller, but just how often I was like in college and white white frat boys were always like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, like I don't like rap, I don't like R&B, I don't like hip hop." And then would be like, "Yeah, Mac Miller." And I was like, "Oh."
Bro, your Mac Miller is my Eminem. Um, I
Oh
was having
my
that same conversation in like 2006 when I was in college, but it would be white bros being like, "Oh, I don't like that ghetto trash. I don't like rap music, this, that, and the third," and then being like, "But Eminem is the best rapper ever, right?" And I'm like, "Oh my fucking god, no,
god.
he's not. He's
But yeah,
Remick."
oh my gosh, literally. Yeah, so I apologize for my long vent, but yeah,
No,
that's
you're
just it.
right, and you should say so.
Oh
Like as a music lover, especially as a black music lover,
my
it's such
gosh.
an exhausting conversation to have, but it
I can't even
really,
imagine.
oh boy. But yeah, like you said in the notes, you're like Mac Miller was influenced by black artists.
Mm-hmm,
Tribe Called
mm-hmm,
Quest, Lauryn Hill, yes, like come on. Where do you think
mm-hmm.
it came from? Like y'all always like the watered down version of our authentic culture. It's always a once removed situation. Like, well, I like it,
Yes.
but not when you do it.
Yes, exactly.
But but I like when this person with like blonde hair and blue eyes does it. You know,
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm,
it's like, oh, Megan the Stallion is gross, she's ghetto, she's trash, whatever. But Iggy Azalea, like when she does it,
mm-hmm.
it's like I cannot have that conversation anymore. Like I can't do it. It's
Whew.
so exhausting and it's such like a an immediate red flag for me of like,
Mm-hmm,
oh, you have some anti-blackness that you just refuse to acknowledge because you like everything about me except me.
mm-hmm. Literally, yeah. So having Ryan do that and have that be like such a key point in this movie, I was like,
Yes.
chef's kiss, chef's kiss.
Exactly. Yeah.
Growing up, I also loved listening to soul music. I had like that same pipeline of like listening to the white version, but then seeing like Otis Redding seeing like
Mm.
the back of some movie and like, wait, who is that? I need to learn more about that.
Mhm.
But it
Mm-hmm.
never being like a black film that isn't a biopic
Mm.
and getting to finally experience just like the musical origin. Um Getting to see that in vampire horror was just
Mhm.
beautiful and it felt so special to finally see in media and just the production of everything.
Mhm. Yeah, that's that. Thank you. Yeah, like that was my initial reaction as well when I saw it. Like I said, it felt like I was finally like seeing firsthand like my own experience on film, like just one generation back because my grandmother and my grandfather would have been about the age of my grandmother was young at this time. She would have been about the age as the little girl who was standing on lookout for
Oh,
smoke when he's in the
wow.
shop.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so my grandmother would have
gosh.
been that age, and then my grandfather was older than her, so he would have been about Smoke and Stack's age. Um, and just seeing like that's one generation back for me. So it was like,
Wow.
yeah. So just seeing what my grandparents probably looked like, sounded like. My roots are in Georgia, so just like one state over. My whole family's from Alabama and Georgia, so I felt like I was finally getting to see my own family and my own culture represented by the people it's supposed to be represented, you know?
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
representing it it's sad how rare that is, and it's not. And I didn't put it in the notes, but I meant to. But it's just like, oh, thank God for once in my fucking life, I get to watch a movie about other black people, and it's not about fucking slavery.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh.
It happens like once every
So
5
true.
years. um, or about like fucking drugs. Um,
You deserve
it's
this movie. You
thank
deserve
you.
this movie.
Jesus Christ. Girl, I was like, can I have one fucking time where it's not about like black suffering and struggle? Like this movie is so much more about black resilience and community
Hmm.
and just warmth and collectivism. God, I needed this. Yeah, I really needed this because it's just I'm so tired of seeing slavery movies, dude. Like I'm done. I've seen it. I've seen enough. We know what happened. We're still living out the effects of it right now. So we know. We know. But the way that we get those visuals of the remnants of slavery, you know, we see the cotton fields, we see the two separate grocery stores representing, you know, the white side of the street and the black side of the street. Early on, I think Smoke and Stack's first scene where we see them negotiate business with a white man who's the
Mm.
grand dragon of the KKK, which also reminded me of Killers of the Flower Moon, Lindsay.
Yeah, so many correlations to Killers of the Flower
Mm-hmm.
Moon.
Yeah. And like them having to do business with a guy they know is in the fucking KKK and is like racist and doesn't want them to own this business and is probably plotting on their downfall, which spoiler, he was. Um, Having to navigate like in that world, just do business with people who you know like hate your fucking guts and are out to get you. And how the real not real villain, but the actual how do I put this? The true evil of this movie is white supremacy and the KKK and the structure within they work to make it so that black people have nowhere to go where they can exist and be happy and have privacy and dignity and music and food. Being able to just take that away from people at the drop of a hat with absolutely no consequences. Showing all of that without showing the actual, you know, cross burnings and the like abject violence of the KKK and not having to see black people be like beaten or shot by white people. I thought that was like a really nice reprieve from how we normally see and experience like historical movies about black Americans.
So, for you, Marquita, how is this a visual representation of the blues?
So for me, I think the biggest aspect of blues that I connect with when I listen to it is just and there's a scene that correlates with it in the movie so beautifully. It's the Delta Slim scene when he's in the car talking about his friend getting lynched. What I come across when I'm listening to the blues generally is how my people process pain and make it into art, make it into something beautiful. It's like a transfiguration of just the abject horror of what my family members went through during that time, what we as a nation were going through during that time, what black Americans who have been here long enough in this country know and have passed down generationally. This movie is a way of, like I said, taking that pain of slavery and the terror of experiencing the KKK in your everyday life and not being able to escape it and turning it into something meaningful, something beautiful, something that is everlasting, something that overrides and outlasts that hate and that pain is this music, is the beauty of our voices, of um it's a way to keep our stories alive too. It's storytelling. It it just makes me feel like I'm tapping back into, you know, my family members who are no longer here. It's so beautiful and special, and this movie does that same thing, and they, in a literal sense, have that moment where Sammy is singing and tapping into the past, and the future of black art. And I feel like that's what the blues means to me, is, and how this movie is a visual representation of the blues. It's just that transfiguration of pain, and still coming out of it like dignified, with a sense of humor, with beautiful music and clothing, and food, and just that our culture can be co-opted, but I have faith, and I really feel, in my experience, it will never ever actually be, the real thing can never be taken away from us.
Hmm.
And this is, as Stack says at the end, like, I want the real. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I can't remember which piece of homework it was that talked about the actual representation of who Sammy is, like with his music career, but like he
Mm.
is.
Oh, I think I put it in there. Robert Johnson, American blues singer from Mississippi, who he's got the that it's a very common phrase, the soldier sold to the devil.
Oh,
Mm,
That whole um like folklore is based off of Robert Johnson, how he like sold his soul to the devil so that he was able to
yes.
to be so good at guitar, and to
oh.
have the blues career that he had. He was at a crossroads. I don't know if it was a physical crossroads or a metaphorical crossroads, but Robert Johnson was at a crossroads in Mississippi and had to choose, basically, if he wanted, you know, guitar skills, or if he wanted, like a regular life. Oh, he was also one of, I think, the earliest, if not the first notable member of the 27 Club. He died when he was 27 years old. Um, and there's like a whole myth about him disappearing and then coming back, being able to play the blues. He's basically known as the like inventor of the genre, and that song Crossroads, speaking of Eric Clapton, um,
Mm-hmm.
is a Robert Johnson song. Um,
Crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he's known as the king of the Delta blues, and one of the most influential musicians that ever walked the earth.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 10 genres of music that don't exist without Robert Johnson, and what may or may not have happened to him in Mississippi, in the Delta, and his deal with the devil. So yeah, maybe that's what you were talking about, Lindsay. That was like a big. I think Ryan talked about it in the Directors Guild interview. I'm not positive, but it's this movie is kind of a slight retelling and like tweaking of that Robert Johnson mythology through the character of Sammy.
Oh, I was going on an entirely different route, but I'm really glad you took us
Oh,
there.
oh, where were you going?
I can't remember. I think it. I feel like it was maybe also Misty's article, but
Mm.
talking about how Sammy is the representation of preserving the art of music and
Mm.
the links that the community will go to keep it safe, which is sacrificing themselves.
Ooh, yeah, that is Wow.
Because I mean,
Oh, I love. Keep
I mean,
going on that.
yeah, Sammy is the sole survivor of the entire night,
Yeah.
and he goes to church the next morning.
Mm-hmm. With a piece of his guitar.
Yeah, and everyone else that died for him to just keep his talent safe.
To protect him
Hmm.
and to keep the culture going.
Yeah,
Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. The sacrifice of being a black
yeah,
artist and the sacrifice that a lot of black artists like Robert Johnson and Jimi Hendrix and so on and so forth make to keep our to keep our culture going and to keep our music alive.
yeah. I
Whoa.
I love Delta Slim's character and
Yes.
like his whole backstory and him just being a constant drunk. It's like
Mhm.
it gives the comedic effect to the movie, but it also
Mhm.
gives so much his character depth because you're like, well, he's drinking like this and he's singing and talented like this because of the pain that he's dealing with. And
Exactly.
at the very end when Sammy is like, "This is my fault," he's like, "No, like the
Mm-mm.
devil's coming
Yeah.
through me first."
Yeah. Yeah, he sacrificed himself literally in the movie for Sammy, and
Hmm.
I love that passing of the baton that happens where he throws Sammy the guitar and he's like,
Yeah.
"Run." Like this. I know, I know. It's
I've
like the
had like
metaphors
chills
are
this
Yeah.
entire episode.
we are
Oh my
locked
gosh.
in. So, yeah, Delta Slim he's I think the most obvious kind of representation of the blues in this movie for me. And his whole storyline, I had it in another part, but the sound design when he's telling that story and how you can the I don't know if you heard it, Lindsay, because I think you watched this at home, but like when he's telling that story about what happened to his friend who got lynched at the train station, you can hear the angry mob chasing after him. You can hear the rope tying around him. You can hear him choking and dying. You can hear when he's like, "Oh, we learned to sing together when we were young boys." You can hear like faintly the two of them singing together while he's telling that story. I just that gave me chills the first time I saw it. It was such a beautiful touch, and this movie does that a lot where it plays with the time, where it plays with time, and you can what's happening on screen. You can also hear what had happened off screen, or when you're seeing something, it can also like the big musical number again. You can like the they don't know that their ancestors are there or that the people in the future are there with them, but they feel like that warmth and that collective kind of culture around them during that scene. And what is Delta Slim says something about like it's magic. What we do is magic, and like how we're able to connect to the world through our voices, through our music is really fucking special and it's
Hmm.
sacred, and it's ours. And I love that. That's why Remick went after him. Like he wanted Sammy
Yeah.
specifically. He was like, no, that's I want him because he is so fucking special. I will take just him and the rest of y'all can live if I could
Yeah.
just have this one person. And they were like, no, no.
Yeah, it's oh gosh, it's so complex, but like him being like, I want Sammy, and just everything that he represents, just such a bigger message of what actually is going on in society is like, I want Sammy's gift, but I don't want to acknowledge the existence of black people.
Oh my
Woo!
gosh. Exactly
You
that.
ate.
That.
That is what that is the thesis statement of this
Wow.
movie.
Wow.
You want our rhythm, but you don't want our blues.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just, like everything about us has become a fucking meme, is a fucking gif reaction, a joke, like a costume,
Hmm.
a voice you can put on when you want to make people laugh. Ariana Grande. A
Oh.
way for a way for you to get ahead in your music career. Um, but you have no ownership or experience in this culture. So why are you here? You know.
Ariana Grande has been every single race. Like she's a chameleon.
Yep. She
She's
sure
really
is.
just code
Girl,
switching left and right.
I thought she was Latina for like 3 years.
Me too.
No, she's just fucking white. Blows my mind. But yeah, her and Mac are like a perfect example of like modern musicians who are really like culture vulturing hard and profiting so
Hmm.
much from it. You know, like she's been nominated for fucking Oscars, and it's like
Oh my
I
gosh, yeah.
I just think that y'all should be grateful that we only want equality and not revenge.
I know.
Because
Snaps.
I was thinking about this. Um,
because we fucking earned both.
It's time.
Mm.
this is like really silly, but if roles were ever reversed, I think white people would just accept their fate and start to just entirely turn on each other.
Oh, definitely.
Like we'd be way
Definitely.
too stupid to ever like find the ambition to better ourselves.
No, I think I dead ass. I I think your observation is very astute there. Just like from what I've seen, how y'all can't live with us, but y'all can't live with each other either. So figure it out. Like there's places where like we're not even there, and y'all are still fucking mad and freaked out at us about shit. I'm like, I don't live there. I How am I stopping you from doing anything in your life? What the fuck? Like, I've never been to Ohio, babe.
Crazy.
Like I'm not the problem. I fear it's your like, yeah, just like the that cultural rot to white Americans is also displayed in this movie through vampirism. Just the death and decay and destruction of white Americans. Ah,
Gotta say it as it
listen,
is.
Yeah.
it is what it is, but a lot of the problems that are happening in like modern culture are because of manifest destiny and all that. So, speaking of cultural rot and the KKK and all of that, you had put something in the notes, Alex. I think it was under the Delta Chinese documentary that we watched about your parents' experience coming into this country and having firsthand experiences with the KKK. If you're comfortable
Yeah.
sharing that, can you tell us about that?
Yes. Okay. So,
What the fuck?
yeah, yeah. I also was like, what the fuck? Because so
That's
the
some
way
mom lore.
classic like Asian American lore comes like as a trickle. It doesn't come,
So casually.
yeah, it comes as a trickle and it usually comes at dinner. Usually with friends there. Yeah. So that's kind of how I found out about um yeah, so okay. Let me start
Jesus
that over.
Christ.
So
Yeah.
so my mom was visiting me and we were having dinner with my roommate and we were talking about the South and whatnot. My mom, she just casually mentions the fact she's like, "Oh yeah, like the South is crazy. Like one time the KKK tried to like set our front yard on fire." And I was like, "Huh?"
Oh my God.
Denton, Texas.
Hey,
Denton,
what up,
Texas.
Texas? And what
Yes.
year was that? Do you know how old she was at the
Oh
time?
man.
Jesus.
So, okay, so
Because my
they,
family has similar stories, but I'm
oh
just
my
like,
gosh.
I mean, I didn't know they were coming at Asian people like that too.
Yeah,
Do you know when
so
that was?
I wanted, so it was sometime like, oh, so I know my grandparents had a restaurant in Denton in like 1990. So I think it
Mm-hmm.
was sometime before 1990 when they were
Okay.
like early on starting to get there. But yeah, it's interesting because yeah, they had to go through so much when they moved to this like small, super southern, super conservative town. My grandma, she didn't my grandma and grandpa, they moved here as first gen. My mom was also technically first generation here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, like my grandpa, he refused to learn English. So
Good
my
for him.
grandma, yeah, my grandma ended up having to like learn English, but there was still just like such a big like language barrier there.
Mm-hmm.
My mom has like all these crazy stories. So my mom, she's a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fighter. She was definitely she just did not stand for any of it. Like,
She's an Aries.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. I am my
Mm-hmm.
mother's daughter. Um
Aries gang, we don't play.
Oh yeah. She she was in elementary school when she first moved to the US, and this was in Denton, Texas, where like they were the only Asians in the school in this really
Mm-hmm.
southern town.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she told me about this one story also about how like I don't really know the background of it, but like for some reason the people at her school were always calling her and her sisters like Coca-Cola or something like that. Like, I don't know
Mm.
exactly what it was, but they basically, yeah, they were just they got bullied like a ton.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but that's I know all this like secondhand through my mom, but then a little
Uh-huh.
bit firsthand of just like also being living in Texas and growing up there.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Katy, Texas.
Uh-huh.
Um, which is just a suburb of Houston. But yeah, speaking of the KKK and just, you know, all
More
of that,
lore. Yeah.
more lore.
Ugh.
I remember distinctly when I was in elementary school, my dad was driving me to a sleepover, and we got there, and he parks his car, and he's like, Alex, you can't go into that house. And I was like so confused and I was like, why? Like, what's the big deal? And it turns out it was because the my friend's house had a Confederate flag outside. This is when I was in
Oh
elementary
wow.
school.
Mm-hmm. So this is
Um,
early 2000s for context, or
yes,
what was
yes,
this
early
like 20
2000s. Probably
20?
like 2006, 2007 around then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like back then I was too young to like really understand, but me and that girl, we were still friends up
Mm-hmm.
until like high school, college. But it's just crazy that like I kind of just saw things go from like, oh, like first I couldn't go there for sleepovers because there was a Confederate flag. My dad was like,
Mm-hmm.
hell no.
Yeah.
To now she's like dating a person of color. And I was like, whoa, that's just life just happens like that, you know? And it's
Uh-huh.
just such an interesting passage of time. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I
Uh-huh.
know that was kind of all over the place, but
No, that's fine. Those are always the types who end up in like interracial relationships
oh my
and
gosh, yeah.
terrorize their partner with their
Mm-hmm.
like racist fucking family.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Lindsay and I
That
talk about this all the time
pour one
about like,
out.
yup, like racist ass like white trash that end up dating like black people
Oh
and
my gosh.
terrorizing us, or Asian people or who have or what have you, and just non-white partners, and bringing them into a space like that and being like, what? What's the problem? What? Why do you think I want to be around your racist ass family? Are you fucking crazy?
What's
Like,
the problem? What's the problem?
ugh.
The
Yeah,
audacity.
right? I have a similar story actually, Alex, a sleepover story as well. I think I was in fourth grade, and this was one of my, yeah, I was definitely in fourth grade because we were in the same class together at the time. Yeah, so this is one of my like best friends in fourth grade. Like, we we were tight. Like we sat right by each other because it was alphabetical, right? So her last name started with an S,
Mm.
my last name starts with an R. So like we were right neck and neck with each other. Like we always got along really well. She was so funny. Like we liked the same music. Like we would play together on the school bus. We lived in the same neighborhood. Like me and her were like tight when we were, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, something like that. So she innocently, God bless her, invites me to her birthday party, her sleepover birthday party. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell my mom about it. I get all excited. I like pack my things. I'm like ready to go. And then that morning, she got on the school bus crying and had to uninvite me from coming to her birthday party because her father didn't want me in the house.
Oh my gosh.
It's so
Mm-hmm.
awful.
Yeah, I was like 8. Um,
God.
and she just had to straight up tell me, she's like, I guess he hadn't spread his like fucking, racism to her yet, and she didn't know or understand like why it was a problem. It wasn't a problem for her, but yeah, she was like, yeah, my dad doesn't want you in the house because you're black. I was like, all right, cool.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
like single
God.
digits, like dealing with shit like that. But, God forbid you tell a white person no ever in their lives. It's like uh, the world's ended. Um, yeah, that's just a little little racial trauma on the side for you. But
Sleepovers are such an inciting thing for that. Like,
girl, I don't think I slept over at a friend's house after that. Like, I'm pretty sure my mom's just like, hey, just in case, because like, we were in a very very white area too, 95% white when I was
oh
growing up.
wow.
Yeah, in the fucking backwoods of upstate New York. She's like, hey, maybe we don't sleep over at friends' houses, unless we know like their families aren't fucking racist. So I was like, cool, sounds good. So yeah, I basically never slept over at any friend's house again because turns out their families are racist. And I was in danger and didn't realize it, much like you, Alex. So I was just like, yeah, I'm going to my friend's house, and like our poor parents having to be like, oh my God, how do I tell my child like she's black? Like
So
fuck, like I
that's
cannot
the
imagine.
actual talk. It's like, okay, we're gonna have to have the talk.
Oh yeah, no, literally, that's our talk,
Yeah.
Lindsay. It's not about sex. Like our talk is like, hey, if we go places and people are like calling you names or like looking at you funny or like treating you differently, we are in danger. We need to leave. I'm like, oh, got it. And this is in New York. The same shit was happening, Alex. So if that makes you feel better, I don't know. Um, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, not just the South.
This
Ugh.
this might be a weird take, but I guess coming from my perspective of being in the South and like witnessing just how racist white people can be, especially behind closed doors.
Yes.
Like it's if you as a white person are actually serious about your journey of being anti-racist, it
Mm-hmm.
is okay to disown your entire family.
Yeah.
Because that's
Snaps.
essentially what some people really need to do if they're serious about like who they want to become as a person.
No, literally, because how are you able to coexist with this person
Mm-hmm.
and make excuses for them? And like Alex was saying, bring your fucking non-white partner into their homes
Oh man, yeah.
or
Yeah.
invite them over for sleepovers
It's like
and
it's such a
put us
lack.
in danger.
Yeah, such a lack of awareness for the
Yeah, oh
safety of
yeah.
your friends.
It's so selfish. It's so selfish. Don't ever in your life bring around your racist ass family. Um, it's not gonna go well for either of us. Like just I like don't I can't even believe we have to like ask that. But we do. Right,
So
Alex?
yes, I actually I have a note though. So
Mm,
you mentioned you're like putting us in danger. And I will say something that I feel like is also shown in Sinners as well. I
yeah.
think so you kept on saying putting us in danger and I was like I don't really relate to that. But I think
Mm-hmm.
that is the difference between racism against Asian Americans
Um.
and racism against Black people because
Oh yes.
my
Speak on it.
oh man, okay, yes, because it takes a I think there's a lot of Asians that don't understand this. And I don't blame them because like yes, there is a lot of racism against Asian people and it makes you
Mm-hmm.
feel really uncomfortable. It's like it's terrible. It's not good. Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that's okay, but it's also different than being in actual danger. And I think that's like such an
Mm.
important thing to note is that like yes, I've experienced racism, but really, I haven't had to fear for my life in the same way that you were talking about.
Oh.
Like
Oh, first
the
time?
racism
Mm.
I experienced was very
Yeah.
different.
Oh, wow.
So,
Ooh, that is like a delineation there then. Yeah,
yes.
because I've acutely felt like my life was in danger, probably since I was like, I don't know, 6, 7.
Yeah, see, I didn't. No, it was like
Mm.
annoying. It was not
Mm-hmm.
fun, but I wasn't in danger. Yeah. And I
Oh,
think
wow.
that's in Sinners, that's they kind of show that too because
With
like
the chows.
yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Lead us right into it. We're right back on track, baby. Good job. Model minority. Let's get into it.
Oh man, yeah. I think that's like that is exactly I guess how my model minority like the privilege that you get from being a model minority is that you can
Mm-hmm.
go between the two places. You are not exactly like the central target,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes any sense. And
For
you
sure.
kind of see both sides. So really, I mean, I feel like Sinners kind of I don't know exactly if that's like what they were trying to do with like Grace's character, but
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like you do have like more freedom of choice.
Yeah. There's a choice. Period.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
a choice that a lot of us are not even offered.
Yeah.
Um, we don't have a choice. That's a really interesting point and like something really good to point out. Yeah, like we do experience whiteness and racism in different ways. Yeah, wow. Huh, you don't ever think that people are going to like kill you, huh? What's huh? What's that like? Oh god. Wow. Wow.
It's time for me to blow
uh,
your mind.
you just did. I was like, "Oh, you don't think you're going to die all the time when you're around like too many white people?" Shit. I fucking do. Woo. Yeah, I've just had too many bad run-ins, like too many bad run-ins. I've seen too much. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Alex. And speaking of like your the like adjacency to whiteness in the South, as an Asian person, like you said your family like converted to Christianity once they came
Yeah.
over. Like tell us a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is an interesting story as well. So, kind of like what I was talking about earlier. So, my mom immigrated here when she was in like elementary school around that age with her 7 other siblings. And my grandma and
My mom's
grandpa,
one of 9.
yep, big family, big
Yep.
family.
Is she the youngest too?
No, she's the oldest. Yeah.
She's the old. Oh, see, my mom was the baby of
Yeah.
9.
Oh no, my mom, she was,
The worst.
yeah. She was basically like a second mom, essentially. Eldest daughter stuff.
We know all too well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you're also an eldest daughter, right?
Yep. Yeah. The
Yep.
Aries eldest daughter combo is just like
Woo!
that's something else to unpack.
Wow.
But yeah, so they when they immigrated here, they kind of had to leave most of their wealth behind during the Vietnam War. So
Mm.
they just kind of like,
Oh, right.
yeah, they just left with whatever they could. So they didn't have much. But being in the South, there were lots of Baptist churches. And so a lot of their food, a lot of their clothing actually was donated from the Baptist church.
I see.
A lot of the
Okay.
transportation
Uh huh.
was from the church and yeah, so it is kind of interesting because like they are immigrants, but they also have this like religious remix added in there.
Mm hmm.
And yeah, it's just it's definitely been like a very interesting thing to see because I guess I like don't really go to church
Mm hmm.
anymore and I'm but I still like see I'm still very close with my family, and I
Hmm.
see it's just very interesting to see how different my mom's side of the family is versus my dad's side, so my dad's family, they're more traditional, and they still practice a lot of like traditional Chinese and like practices and traditions and whatnot. So it's very interesting to see that versus my mom's side of the family, which was converted to Southern Baptist, and how they've kind of they've kind of in a way,
They
yeah,
assimilated.
they
They came.
assimilated. Yeah.
They became a part of the collective.
Yeah, and so I feel like a lot of their Asian culture they kind of like suppressed for a really long time.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. Like you're in this place where like the it's the South. It's the South. So you know
Hmm.
what? I kind of see that in Sinners too. It's like there's this aspect of like you got to do what you got to do. And it's like is that the right choice? Who knows? But it's yeah, I guess in a way I do feel like sympathy for some of those characters because I'm like yes, that's it's like really terrible what happens, but like in a way it's like okay, like a lot of this is like you're going through these situations and you're just trying to survive and
Yep.
yeah, so it was really interesting to see in the movie as well. I was like, wow, I feel that.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, I think that was in the review we read, the survival aspect to
Hmm.
in Misty Avenger's piece, which I'm going to put in the show notes, called "The Price of Being Let In."
It was amazing.
She, I love.
So
Thank you.
good.
I read that back in October when I thought I was going to take that night school class on vampires, and I didn't end up going. But yeah, that's where I originally came across this piece on Google Scholar, because I wanted
Wow.
something. I wanted something that wasn't just like a white reviewer being like,
Mm-hmm.
talking about. I just didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. So I found a black woman who had written like a scholarly piece on this
Let's
movie, and I was like, oh, I
go.
fucking love this. Um, but yeah, just Misty Avenger's, the way she brings up the way that Bo and Grace choose kind of survival, and how they're, she calls it specifically negotiated survival,
That's such a
of
good way
great,
to put it.
right? Yes, it's like they're like, I want to be this way, but I also want to be this way, and I want to have the freedom to move freely between these two worlds. But they're also in a place of oppression during this time period, and they're also othered. So you do understand kind of Bo and Grace and why they're doing some of the things they're doing, and why they're like invited into Club Juke, and why they are a part of, you know, black culture as like allies, and kind of I wouldn't say allies, actually. I'd say more um like cohorts. Like,
Yeah.
but then at the end of the day they're like, "Yeah, we should leave. Shit's getting kind of bad here."
Yep, when
And
shit hits the fan, it's like, all right, pack it up.
so go get the
Pack it
carbo.
up.
Go get the carbo. And that's also like a very like nuanced thing between like black and Asian people, because like
Yeah.
I feel like until very recently it's always been like, we're with you only until like this much, and then fuck
Yep.
y'all. And I'm like,
When
all
shit
right,
hits the fan.
y'all got it, even though
Hmm.
we were out here marching for your fucking rights too. That's fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that
Affirmative action
history.
benefits you too, but
And then it's just like, I saw nothing. I saw nothing.
bro. And this is like
Oh
a
my
modern
gosh.
parallel. Did you see like the whole reason that affirmative action got taken away recently under the Trump
Oh,
administration is because a fucking Asian person was
mm-hmm.
complaining about it. I
Yep.
was like, we're trying
Mm-hmm.
to help you.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
it's
gosh.
it's
It's
Asian people and white women who benefit from
literally,
affirmative action the most.
literally.
Leave us out of it.
It's oh my gosh. It's like such a pain to like try to have like conversations like that because it's yeah, the model minority thing has almost like pitted us
Yes.
against each other. And it's like,
Yeah. Oh,
no,
big
why
time.
are we
Big
not
time.
working together?
Yeah.
Why are we not
Girl,
working together?
I think it's finally coming alive. Like I've been seeing it on TikTok a lot of like Asian Americans finally. I don't know if you're on TikTok, but there's this whole fucking big blow up a month or two ago between like the Asian diaspora in America and the black diaspora in America
Yes,
because
let's
of this. You saw
go.
because this I want to say she's Korean American, but this fucking Korean American influencer made a video where she was like, oh god, she was tap dancing for them white people. She was like, "Well, I just feel like you should help white people when they come to the H Mart and explain to them what things are and how to use them and how to make them." And I was like, "Girl, you don't have to do. You're not their concierge. Like you're not their fucking pet. They
Oh
don't.
my.
They're in your grocery store. You don't need to go and read." She's like, you should just pick things off the shelf and read it to them and help white people because, like, that's
Oh.
good for us. Oh my god, Alex. The Asian TikTok went crazy.
Oh my
They were
gosh.
like, girl, get this fucking bullshit. I don't know what the Asian version of, like, an Uncle Tom is, but they were like, get this shit out of
Oh
here. Like,
my
this is
gosh.
like this is deeply ingrained like model minority behavior. You're
Oh.
like you just want a pet on the head from a white person
Oh
so
my
bad.
gosh.
So bad. She's like,
No, that's so
I
relatable.
I wait at H Mart so that I can help white people grocery shop. And everyone's like, do you get
Oh.
paid to do this? Do
Oh.
you
I
just do
hate that
this?
so much.
They were eating her up, Alex.
Oh
Rightfully
my
so.
gosh.
But then Black TikTok got a hold of it and we're all in the comments like, see, and this is why we've been trying to tell you.
It's coming together.
It's finally coming.
It's
Like
coming
it's
together.
finally coming together. Where they're like, "All right, sis, like you enough. Like you're embarrassing us now. Like I'm not waiting outside no damn H Mart to tell
No
a white person how
way.
to grocery shop. Like that's embarrassing.
No
Like
way.
stop. Why are you catering to these people who don't give a fuck about you and who shouldn't be in here in the first place? If we're being honest, like God, I'm sorry.
Literally.
Like can again, it's that whole notion of wow. In this scenario, this influencer invited the vampires to the juke.
Wow. That's
And then she was
crazy.
like, wait, they're biting me. Oh my god, why?
Where's that coming from?
It's like, girl, because you don't. Oh man, but yeah. So like the model minority thing be eating y'all up, but I think finally, like it's finally. I think we're getting past it, and I'm so fucking happy.
Yes. No,
It's
as
got to stop.
it's about damn time. It's
It's
about
got to
damn
stop.
time.
It like the world is on fucking fire, and y'all are sitting here talking about some. Well, I don't want I don't want affirmative action anymore. I'm like, okay, you got it. You got it. Guess what? They don't like you either.
It's just so it's gotta
painful.
end.
It's
It's
painful,
gotta
dude.
end.
It drives me crazy. Oh my god, like release us. But that leads me to the last theme I wanted to point out, which is the concept of ownership. And ownership over your culture and like we've been talking about food, language, uh music, having a space like the juke joint itself, having a like a in space that's not having a space that's not for everybody and that's okay. And the a lot of what brings me back to this movie and loving it so much is all of those little scenes. And the cinematographer Autumn Durald Archipel had talked about this, I think, in that one big interview with her we watched, where she purposely shot all those little community building scenes and all the like that 40-minute sequence before the vampires start where we're just hanging out with these people and going to the train station to meet Slim and playing music with him, and we go to meet Annie for the first time, and that whole scene with her and Smoke, and just the adventures along the way earlier in the day of building the juke joint, how they go to Cornbread and get him to help out, and just the aspect of the joy of building something for yourselves and building a community. And it's so beautiful and touching. And that first 40 minutes is just it's such a great hang. And then the end, I think you had it in the notes, Lindsay, like just the very end where we meet Sammy as like a grown man,
Yeah.
and he's talking about that day and what it meant to him and how special it was to um had that day together with his cousin. He's like, that's the happiest day I've ever had until, the vampire showed up,
Yeah.
he's like, that was the best day. And it's just them hanging out and making something together and how healing that is. Do you want to speak more to that, Lindsay?
I guess this was one of my favorite musical performances. Is it okay if we get into that now?
Yeah, sure.
At the very end, when Sammy re-performs Travelin',
Mm-hmm.
and then he kind of talks to Stack and Mary afterwards. It's like, yeah, that day was the best day I've ever had
Mm-hmm.
until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't. Yeah, I thought that was so beautiful to bookend this movie
Mm-hmm.
with those images, because when Sammy brings it up at the end of the movie, they flash back to
Yeah.
Smoke and Stack just hanging out in the cotton field together, to um, Grace and Annie in the kitchen together frying up catfish, Bo, hanging up the lights, all of the love and work that went into creating that space together with these characters. If you cut out all the vampire stuff, like it would still be so fucking great as a movie. It's just gorgeous. And again, you don't have to beat us over the head with like slavery to make us understand the context of what's happening to these people at this time, you know?
Yeah, because we haven't mentioned Jedediah, Sammy's father yet, but
Yeah.
to circle
Yeah.
it back to like converting to Christianity,
Yes.
Jedediah did not want him to experience this day at all. Like he wanted to like strip him
Yeah.
of
Yes.
that community and his family, and
Mm-hmm.
like because
Because
Jedediah,
his community is
yeah,
the
Jedediah
church.
holds such a
Yeah.
power by himself because of like
Mm-hmm.
what he's assimilated to, like being
Mm-hmm.
a preacher on
Yep.
the same plantation that you had to like be at, like your generations. And
Yeah.
yeah, his something I
Like
wanted to
the imagery of, yeah, go on, but like the imagery of that church in the middle of a cotton field
Yeah.
is just
Oh my
woo,
gosh.
yeah,
breathtaking.
yeah, and he's like, Sammy, you need to spend all of your time here.
And
But
he's like, why?
yeah, it's like the power that he's being given from being a preacher,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like it's evil.
Yeah, it's not true. It's not true freedom.
Yeah.
And I think there's like, yeah, Sammy's father is a very interesting character because I had put it in another spot, but we can talk about it now. Like he asked Sammy to put down his guitar when Sammy comes through the door and he's in the church, bloody, injured, alone. The guitar is smashed and it's just dangling in his hands, and he's traumatized and scared and has survived so fucking much to even be in that church standing there in front of his father, and all his father can say to him is put down the guitar. And he's like, you don't know what this guitar did for me. This guitar saved my life. This guitar saved me. He doesn't know, like his father doesn't realize the only reason that Sammy's standing there is because of that guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so fucking powerful. I just love the symbolism of that exchange of his father being like representing, Christianity and
Yeah.
like
White supremacy.
white supremacy and stay within the system and lay down lay down your actual salvation, which is coming from this guitar. It's just such a beautiful juxtaposition there of how Sammy finds his freedom versus how his father thinks he'll find his freedom.
Yes.
I love that. I love that
Mhm.
observation. Speaking while we're here, we can just do it now. Favorite performances. You had already mentioned Miles Caton as Sammy Lindsay. So, do you want to go, Alex?
Sure. Yeah.
And and
So,
and tell us why you loved these performances.
yeah, so cliche, but Michael B. Jordan as Smoke and Stack because, well, first of
That's totally
all,
valid.
Somebody
love
had to,
Michael B.
yeah.
Jordan. And
So fucking hot. And
oh my gosh,
this
yeah,
is the hottest he's
double.
ever fucking been in his life.
And we got
Well,
twice of it.
maybe the costume, but like he's pretty hot in Creed too. Can't forget about
This
that.
That's
is
true.
true. This is
That's
true.
true.
But we only got one of him in Creed. And this
That's
time we
very
got
true.
two. That's honestly, yeah, and just the
What's better than
acting.
one?
So always more, always more, always more.
I'm with you.
So
And
good.
what was it about his performance as? Because we watched that video about him playing twins. If you want to bring that into the discussion, Alex, what stood out to you about the way he was playing Smoke versus Stack, or like why he was making those choices?
Yeah, so um I would say that it was just so distinct. Like he was able to capture those like sibling differences
Hmm.
so well to the fact that I actually didn't know he was playing both of them until halfway through the movie, actually.
I'm
I think I
so
like looked
dead.
over and asked you like halfway through, was like, wait, is he playing both of them? And then that's he just did so good. He did so good. He fooled me. He fool had me fooled.
He really did. And
Had me fooled.
I forgot about this until you put it in the notes and I started dying earlier because yes, that is exactly like you looked over. We were probably Lindsay, we were like 20, 30 minutes in this
Oh
movie and
yeah.
she looked over at me
Gosh,
and she's like, "Wait, is he both of them?" I was like, "Baby." Yeah.
he really did do that good of a job.
He really
Yes.
did. I got
Yeah.
got. I got got.
That was so like I could just see like your eyes got so wide and you were like,
I was like,
"Oh, that's him."
what?
That's
Oh
how you
my
know
gosh.
he was in his bag in these performances. I love this pick. In the behind the scenes footage we watched, we also got to learn how he did like the subtle physical changes he made, like you said, Alex, to these performances. The posture on
Hmm.
Smoke versus Stack, the way that like he would like move his mouth a certain way when he was one character versus another. He wouldn't smile when he was Smoke. If he's smiling, he's Stack. He wanted to bring such subtlety and like real, like I said, feel like real siblings in this movie.
Hmm.
And I think he's definitely going to get nominated for an Oscar. I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah.
positive he's not going to win, unfortunately, but he will be nominated, and he should be because these feel like two, like you said, they feel like two separate people.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, it's such a good like magic trick to be so immersed in this movie that you don't even realize it's one actor until like 20 minutes into it and you're like, wait, shit, wait, that's Michael B. Yeah.
Based
um
on a true story.
I love that. Thank you for reminding me of that. That was so funny. um Michael had spoken about how he wanted to portray the childhood trauma that both Smoke and Stack had been through because they were physically abused by their father. Smoke killed their father, protecting Stack from being brutally beaten by him. Um, and just how he wanted to distinguish how Smoke would carry that weight and that grief and that violence differently than Stack, the one who was being protected and had not that burden of responsibility put on him, to do what
Mm.
Smoke did. How Stack feels lighter and more free than Smoke.
God, that
And
is,
did you notice
yeah,
that?
that is so impressive.
Right? One person doing all that without
Crazy.
saying any of it. That's all a physical performance
Hmm.
there.
So, what other performances did you like, Alex?
So another one of my favorite performances was Omar Benson Miller as Cornbread.
I love this pick. Cornbread
Oh,
supremacy.
so good. Like this we we all talked about it, but like this movie had a lot to unpack. But like we needed Cornbread. Cornbread was
Yeah.
Oh,
hilarious, so
absolutely.
funny.
We needed the comic relief and his warmth in this movie so badly. Yeah, him and
Hmm.
Delta Slim really
Yeah.
Yes.
kept the right tone with this movie. So what is it about Omar Benson Miller's performance that you enjoyed so much?
He was just so genuine and like real. It was like we needed that. Like he
Hmm.
brought the authenticity. He just like you just felt like you were part of the crew, you know? Like every time that he showed up, it was just like, okay, okay. Yeah, he had just had that warmth the whole time. And even like him as a vampire was also just so funny. I was like,
He was making some compelling arguments,
yeah,
you
I
know,
was like, okay, yeah, true.
being kind to one
Word.
another,
Yeah.
and togetherness and friendship. I
And
was
I was
like,
like, yeah, you're right.
He might have gotten me. Might have gotten me with that.
Honestly, I would have gotten got by cornbread.
I know. That is, I listen. That's the first time that's a unanimous. Yeah, that's unanimous. I think cornbread would also get
Like,
me.
how can you say no to cornbread?
How do you say
I
no to him?
know.
He's so charming. Yeah. Ryan Coogler putting Omar in this movie was just God, it was perfect. He's just so able to break the tension, but also be like scary and menacing when he needs to, especially once he gets turned
Hmm.
and he
Oh
has
yeah.
that little flip in his performance where he's like trying to coax Smoke outside and he's like, "Hey, just come outside. Like, yeah, just give me my
Yeah.
money. I'll go. No big deal." And then Annie's like, "Wait a minute.
Hmm.
Why the fuck can't you come back in here? Like, what's happening here?" And he just like flips his performance like right on the dot and he's like, "Shut up, witch." And you're like, "Oh."
Oh, that was crazy.
You're like, "Who the fuck? Cornbread?
What happened?
What happened?" It's just I love when actors are able to just switch it up like that within one scene where they go from jovial, inviting, like warm and, all of that to just like fuck you, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, that
He's
was
got range.
crazy.
Yeah, I love
So
him. And
good.
then who else for you?
So,
And
of course, Miles as Sammy because
mhm.
wow, just I mean, I didn't even know, like I guess we touched on this, but I didn't realize he was like so young. I was like, he's amazing.
Mhm.
So
His
amazing.
first movie out the gate, straight out of high school.
That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
he learns how to play guitar for this movie.
What?
Blew your mind for what? The fifth time? He's
Yeah.
also not a guitar player. Well, he is now. He is now.
What?
Learning that this is literally one of his first acting like
Wow.
roles.
Yeah.
It's so
This is like the
impressive.
first movie he's done. Cannot stress how I feel like Sammy, I mean the whole movie, he's the glue.
Hmm.
Sammy starts the movie, he's the first like thing you see, and he ends the movie as an adult, as an old man, watching Stack and Mary, disappear into the night. He's the heart of this whole piece.
Hmm.
And I know, Lindsay, you knew some trivia about like how he was named, his character name.
Yeah. Yeah, so Ryan Coogler's uncle James, who
Mm-hmm.
is really what so much of the blues was based off of, like his inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
he married Ryan Coogler's maternal grandmother's little sister, and her
Mm-hmm.
name was Sammy, and that's who Sammy was named after.
Yep.
What?
So it
Sammy
just,
is his family
yeah, it
member.
just
Yeah.
speaks more to how personal the actual story is to Ryan Coogler. Miles, he understood Sammy's character so well and his purpose and
Hmm.
was so graceful. And I mentioned this earlier, but just the representation that he held of culture within the
Hmm.
music and just how everyone really wanted to protect him. And
Yes. Everyone rallied around
yeah,
him.
yeah, and I think you were mentioning this earlier, Marquita, but Delta Slim and Sammy's intimate connection with music, just
Hmm.
just the protection that Delta Slim had over him as well, which also was another one of my favorite performances. He either said the first or the third movie that he's ever seen was Malcolm X, which
The
stars,
first.
yeah,
What?
which stars Delroy Lindo. Only to
Yeah.
fast forward now to his movie where he's starring him in his own movie
Isn't
is,
that
Wow.
crazy?
yeah, it's amazing.
Gives me
But
chills.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like
mm-hmm,
a huge full circle moment
yeah,
to have, yeah, the Spike Lee connection of we watched for the listeners, the three of us watched a an interview that had just come out. I added that to the notes really late too, so thank you for catching that. I added that like 2 days ago because it just came out. That interview between Spike Lee and Ryan Coogler, and just you get to see like these
yeah,
two giants of cinema having a conversation where they're basically just fanboying over each other for like
yeah.
40 minutes,
It's so
and
beautiful.
it's so beautiful, and like they're just appreciating each other and each other's work and what they've done for the culture and to and when Lindsay and I talked about it a lot in the Malcolm X episode, like the Spike Lee trailblazing, like all the suffering that he had to go through to get Malcolm X made and produced and financed, and the crowdfunding we mentioned and all of that. Um, I'm gonna cry, but like for 30 years later, for Ryan to be at that same movie studio making a movie like this with full creative control, full ownership over the story, at the same studio that 30 years ago Spike Lee had to beg and scrape to even finish Malcolm X. And think about that moment. If Ryan never saw that movie, do we even have this movie?
Wow.
And like it's so what they do is magic, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and what they do to inspire each other is so special. And yeah, you can tell that Ryan is such a fan of Spike's.
Yeah, just like
Mhm.
jumping to now and Spike Lee getting to have this interview with Ryan Coogler, it's so
Woo!
amazing to see.
Aw.
And right after Sinners came out, Ryan Coogler was just in LA and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna just randomly call Spike Lee and see if he's in the same city as me. And he was. So he got to take Spike Lee and see Sinners together and just have the time of his life.
Spike Lee was one of the first people to see this movie finished. And I had brought it up earlier a little bit, but Christopher Nolan was one of the other ones. Um, to be this early, not I don't want to say early, but to be this, I'd say he's pretty young, you know. So to be this young and this well established as a filmmaker, and for two of your biggest champions, advisors, you know, supporters behind the scenes to be fucking Spike Lee and Christopher Nolan.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Like holy shit. You know, that must feel so fucking good. And he's so deserving of it too. You can tell he doesn't take it for granted. And I loved all the little moments in that interview where
Mm-hmm.
they're just calling each other brother and like dapping each other up and like jumping up and down and laughing
Yeah.
and just getting to be themselves, whether the cameras are there or not, just being able to hang out with each other and talk about their process of working with their actors and making movies. It's so I'll probably put that in the show notes as well because that
Yeah.
video like gave me life.
It
So
it was
good.
really cool seeing the comparison Spike Lee has working so much with Denzel Washington and then them
Yes.
comparing Ryan Coogler working so much with Michael B. Jordan. It's like,
It's the next generation.
yeah, literally.
And it's because of bringing it back, Malcolm X,
Mm-hmm.
which Delroy Lindo is a huge part of, that I feel so bad. Remember, we got to the end of the recording and we didn't get to talk about him in that episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, let's say it now. After that.
Well, let's say it now.
Yeah, after
Delroy
that.
Lindo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
After we finished filming Malcolm X, I think you immediately realized, you were like, oh my god, we didn't even mention Delroy.
I hit
Tragedy.
as soon as I stopped recording. I was like, "Fuck!" I had like a whole section in the notes that I had just scrolled past and forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
I was so fucking pissed because Delroy Lindo as West Indian Archie in that movie, it's such a beautiful performance, and obviously impacted Ryan so much that over 30 years later he cast him in his movie, rightfully so. So what was it about Delroy Lindo's performance, Lindsay, that touched you?
I think
Like, I know you've already talked about some of it, but
yeah, just like how talented he was, mixed with how flawed he was, just because of
yeah,
you know, with everything
the self-medicating.
yeah, self-medicating, and just how, for lack of better word, content he was, because he still had his music and he still had this one thing to carry him to the next Saturday. I loved when he said that.
Yeah,
just,
he's like, I just got to get to the next Saturday.
yeah, and just the sacrifice and the preservation of identity that he had in the entire movie.
I love that too. That's beautiful.
What were your favorite performances in Sinners?
So for me, the first one I had written down was Wunmi Masaku as Annie. Um, she is so fucking beautiful. Like, and I don't just mean visually, like there's an inner light and there's something kind of intangible about her just jumping off the screen, like that kind of beauty. Just her essence as a person, I feel like shines through in Annie as a character so much. Like, she seems magical and beautiful and special, and like a real, I don't know, just like she's so sensual too. And I love that Ryan has, a larger sized, dark skinned black woman in a romantic lead in this movie. She's not a side character. She's not the butt of any jokes. She's not a sex worker. She's not like a mammy type figure. She's just a beautiful, sexy, magical woman who saves everybody's asses in this fucking movie. Without Annie, them motherfuckers would have all been dead way earlier. Sammy would have been gone too. Like, they wouldn't even had a chance if Annie hadn't brought her cultural knowledge and her tradition of hoodoo as a tool to this movie. She got to show the audience that the practice of hoodoo is not cursing, it's not scary, it's not it's not a negative practice. It's a practice of healing. It's a practice of keeping people safe, with the mojo bag that she had given to Smoke when he went away. What was that, World War One? I'm trying to think of the time period this is. Yeah. Smoke and Stack are World War One veterans, and before they went overseas, Annie had given the mojo bag as protection, and it becomes such an important item later on in the movie for Smoke. Um, you can just feel how loved and respected she is as a character in this movie, and I think Lindsay, you had Somewhere Else, but like the introduction to her,
Yeah. Oh my
whew,
gosh.
that's when I
Wow.
turned to Alex and I was like, this is the scene where I knew that this movie was shot by a woman.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That moment right there when her and Smoke reunite and have that deeply sad um but like beautiful moment together in front of their child's grave. And she's like, "You're back in my life. What do you want? Like, I know you're up to something. Like, what do you need?" And then they immediately just fall back together, you know? Like they just feel like they belong together, and her chemistry with Michael B. Jordan as a love
Wow.
interest was
Yeah.
just
So good.
unbelievable. So good.
This and it oh my gosh, it was to speak more to Michael B. Jordan's performance, like having
Oh,
to
yeah. He has
switch
two.
yeah, having to switch
Oh my
like
gosh.
the love connection from Smoke with Annie and then Stack with Mary. It's just
Yes.
Wow.
it's crazy because it really just feels like entirely different people. It's like nothing to us when we don't think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, to in my mind, like those are four separate
Yeah.
people, you know? It's it's so cool to see. Um yeah, that's a really good point, Lindsay. The just the way that he plays Smoke and Stack so differently, and then you get to see through the two separate love interests those differences within the brothers and what they go for in a partner as well. Which leads me to my other favorite performance. Haley Steinfeld as Mary. Um, she is so she's a firecracker
Yeah.
in this movie. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she from her first scene when she saunters up to Stack at the train station and just cusses him out. Sammy is like, "Who the hell is that?" Um, she brings such a liveliness and definitely also a danger to this movie. She's the whole catalyst for
Yeah.
what happens to Stack, and you know the whole reason that a lot of what happened in this movie happens is because of Mary. And Mary has like an interesting place between two worlds, like I said earlier.
Hmm.
But that's because like the way that Haley plays her, she's not one thing or the other. She's not outright a villain, but she's not outright innocent either.
Mm-hmm.
She's dangerous, but she's also vulnerable. And I just thought that Haley, this is, I think maybe the first thing I've seen her in besides Hawkeye. So
Hmm.
I'm coming to her from like a completely different perspective as like a charming kind of like superhero character, you know, with like she's playing like early 20s I think in that, just very like youthful and fun, kind of like a Peter Parker character to Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye in that TV show. So I'm coming to her as like kind of a jokey, like late teens, early 20s, like action kid, you know, and then to see her directly after that in this movie as like a southern, like grown ass, dangerous woman who then gets turned into a vampire and becomes like a blood sucking monster. Like I didn't know she could do this. Uh, I love her performance. She also has like one of the funniest lines of dialogue in this
Yeah.
movie. It's like so filthy. I'm not even gonna repeat it, but just like
I know which one you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
every time I saw that in movie theaters, audible gasps. People would be like, "Oh, Mary,
My
girl."
jaw dropped. I was like, what? Icon.
Filthy,
Iconic.
filthy. Whoa, she is something else in this movie. I just love what she did with this character. She got like a substantial part, and she brought it. She
Mm-hmm.
brought it. And as I was saying with Wunmi Masako, she also has amazing chemistry with Michael B. Jordan. Um,
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Like they're hot together. Like her and Stack together are the more like I said, Annie and Smoke are like the sensual couple, and Mary and Stack are the like sexual fiery
Yeah.
couple.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so fun to see those differences play out between the actors. So that's my main one. And then I just we got to talk about Jack O'Connell as Professor Remick. One of the most likable villains.
Yeah.
He's so goddamn charming. Like I one of my favorite things is like someone who grew up on like thrillers and like really adult dramas that I probably shouldn't have been watching, but I was. I love a nuanced, charming, complicated villain. Like someone who isn't just outright evil and, you know, the obvious like, oh, that's a bad guy. He just the way that Jack O'Connell plays him is kind of you see his point, right? Like
Yeah.
when he's making that appeal at the door and he's like, just let me in and I can literally make all of your problems disappear. Like racism won't exist. You don't have to worry about the KKK that's coming here in the morning to kill you. You don't have to worry about you won't have to worry anymore. All of us can just be together and live as one. And you're like,
Hmm.
maybe keep talking. Jack O'Connell also has my second favorite musical moment in this movie, which is Rocky Road to Dublin. He's so fucking good in this scene. And I think it was in one of the videos. Did you see Alex where he said like, "Oh, I actually already knew how to Irish
Yes.
step dance." Like, what are the fucking odds? And I don't think
What
Ryan
the
Coogler knew
heck?
that when he sent him the script, but he saw that scene and he was like, "Oh, I got that in the back pocket. I know how to Irish step dance. I can do a little jig for you, Ryan." He was like, "What?"
Crazy.
So charming and so talented, and he great voice too. Like he gets a
Yeah.
big musical number.
Mhm.
Everybody in this movie can sing. We haven't
Oh,
talked about
yeah.
Jamie Lawson as Pearline, but she gets a big musical number and she can sing her ass off. Like everybody in this movie is a triple threat. You know, it's like the acting, singing, and dancing. Do you know how hard it is to find a cast full of like 20 people who can do this and do it
Crazy.
to this level? Unbelievable. But I really Jack O'Connell, he's so good in this movie, an instant icon. The memes have been crazy. Did you see how many people dressed up as him for Halloween?
Ooh,
Like,
I
No.
didn't see that. I
oh
saw
my
a
god, like
lot of the
every
smoke and stack.
oh funny. Yes, me too. But every like white guy who like is in on the joke, you know, like I saw
Oh
a
wow.
bunch
I
of remix
love
for Halloween.
that.
So funny. He's like an instant like horror movie icon. Speaking of which, he's going to be in the new 28 Years Later movie as well.
Whoa.
Speaking of horror icons, so he's one to keep an eye out for. I can't wait to see what Jack O'Connell does next. He's big ups to him. Just he's an absolute beast in this movie. And Rocky Road to Dublin. Hi, Kieran. I know this is your favorite. It's also one of my favorites. But yeah, just for variety's sake, I wanted to point that moment out because my actual favorite, of course, is the big number, that big one shot of the ancestors all dancing together. And like what that did to me, seeing that in an IMAX theater on opening day, packed
Wow.
house, almost an entirely black audience, almost yeah. I oh I felt like how Remick felt in that moment of just being like, holy shit, I want to be there. Like,
Get
yo,
me in.
get me in. What do I gotta do to get to that party? Holy shit. Like, it 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 really touched something in me, and that's my favorite, of course, but I really just wanted to point out Rocky Road to Dublin too. And it looked like the whole cast that's in that scene was having so much fun when they're like dancing around in the circle with him while he's like doing his little jig, his little step dance, his little 1 2,
Oh my
with his like
gosh.
his little 1 2 3 4 5.
with his entire face just fangs.
Yeah, just
Ah.
oh yeah, those giant fangs and just
Hmm.
blood
I
like
remember when that number came
dripping.
on, I looked over to you and I was like, what? What is happening? It was
And
so iconic. I was
I'm like
like,
vibing.
I was like, what?
Yeah, it's insane. Which leads us to you, Alex. What's your favorite musical number in this movie?
So obviously, I did have to pick the big musical number because, yes,
Yeah.
seeing that in theaters was
Mhm.
an out-of-body experience.
Mhm.
Yeah, I, I feel like I, like, time stopped.
Yes.
It was just, it was amazing. It was
Mhm.
amazing. And yeah, that was big highlight.
That that's the movie moment of 2025.
Yes, that like was
No questions asked.
if you didn't see any more of the movie, but you just saw that part, I feel like it captured everything. It was so good. So good.
A visual representation of the blues.
There you go. There you go.
Hey. So yeah, definitely I lied to you leading into that big surreal montage as Ryan calls it. Yeah, amazing.
So
What
good.
else for you, Alex?
So, um, I forgot exactly where in the movie it is, but I was like re-listening to the soundtrack and I remembered this one specific line from Last Time I Seen the Sun.
Mhm.
Um, there's a line where they're like harmonizing and
Mhm.
they say, and if I'm dreaming, then please don't wake me up. And then they hold that
Mhm.
please
Mhm.
for a while and it just
Oof.
like
Yeah.
chills every single time
Yes.
and you just like feel all the feels, you just feel everything you could possibly think of and oh my gosh, you can just wow.
That song
Wow.
makes me well up like every single time I hear
Yeah.
it. Every time.
Oh,
Yeah, that's such a great pull. Or that's a great shout out. The moment you're thinking of, it's Sammy's like last. It's right before the credits roll.
that's what it was. Yes, yeah. It's
It's the
just
end of the movie when we're seeing that scene I brought up earlier, where we're flashing back through like Sammy's memories of the day setting up the party in the juke for that night, and you just get the memories of like all these like beautiful people like hanging out together and making that juke happen. That's the song that's playing during
oh,
that. Yeah,
it's
last
so
time I seen the
good.
sun. Hmm.
So
I
good.
agree. I absolutely love the song. I listened to that song today as well.
Oh, I so good. Amazing.
Yeah. Agreed. You had something in here about like a specific piece of music, Lindsay, that Ryan Coogler had mentioned.
Yeah, so Ryan Coogler was just randomly listening to blues and he listens to the Wang Dang Doodle album. Um, and one specific song on there is basically the inspiration for Sinners. And
Whoa.
yesterday, I was listening to the album and it's phenomenal.
Oh, that's
We
amazing.
definitely need to link it in the show notes.
Oh, perfect.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah,
Who's the album by?
Coco Taylor.
And are you familiar with this piece, Alex? Or I'm sure you're familiar with covers of it because I think Muddy Waters is it Muddy Waters? Hold on. No, sorry. Howlin' Wolf does a version
Mm,
of Wang Dang Doodle as well. Do you
really?
know this version? Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm gonna
Oh,
definitely
it's
have to
good.
listen to this. I'm so excited for this recommendation. Let's
yeah,
go.
I think the
Yeah.
Howlin' Wolf version is in Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, okay.
Like as I was
I
listening to
think.
that album, it's like every single song. It's like, wait, what do I know this from? It's just
Mhm.
something that's in everything.
Yeah, I sent you the Howlin' Wolf version,
Oh,
Alex. That's how
yes.
I know the song, but I've never heard the Coco Taylor version of it. So that's a good shout out, Lindsay. I can on the Spotify version of this episode, I
Yeah.
can just link that album like right to the
Oh,
show.
shoot.
So yeah, yeah, we're like high tech around here, so we can attach that. I love that it's just rifling through his uncle's albums that after he had passed away, and he was trying to like we said, connect with the ancestors and reach back to the other side. That's the whole reason he wrote this piece. He wrote this movie. That's so beautiful. And speaking of music, Alex, did you want to speak about Ludwig Göransson, who just won a Golden Globe for this music a couple days
Woo!
ago? Well deserved. They showed his acceptance speech during the fucking commercials, but
What?
yeah, yeah,
What?
it wasn't televised, but he won.
Wow.
Yeah,
Did him dirty.
yeah, they did. They did. So, did you want to give Ludwig Göransson some shine and read out some other work he's done if people aren't familiar as a
Yes.
composer?
So I knew about his stuff from Black Panther. I'm actually not really a Marvel person, but I loved Black Panther. And I think part of that was the
Hmm.
music. It was
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of
amazing.
people said that.
Amazing. So good.
Hmm.
It almost didn't feel like a Marvel movie in a good way. In a good way.
Yes. No, I totally get what you mean. Yes.
Yeah. That was so good. I watched Oppenheimer, but I didn't realize that he did Oppenheimer.
Yep.
That
He won the
also was
Oscar for that
amazing.
last year. Or, no,
Wow.
he won the Oscar for that 2 years ago.
And then Creed, I didn't know about that one. I didn't know he did that one, but that was also so good, so
Yep.
awesome. Um,
And
and
then he does
then
TV as well.
yeah, yeah, that's super cool. So, I can see here in your notes that he's done Community, New Girl, The Mandalorian, and then also has done some stuff with Childish Gambino. So,
Yep.
yeah, that's awesome.
This Is America is him.
Wow.
Yeah, and the whole album Awake My Love with Redbone on it, like that album.
Wow.
Mm,
Ludwig Göransson produced that.
so good.
Um, he also did music for Adele and, like we said, Kendrick Lamar for the Black Panther soundtrack, but also Kendrick Lamar's work. I think Damn and
Oh,
maybe some
I
of To
could
Pimp a
see
Butterfly as
that.
well. I think that was also Ludwig Göransson. If it wasn't, I can cut that part. Um, but yeah,
Wow. He's all
he's so
over.
talented. Oh, he's so fucking talented. Yeah, he's I don't know if he's gonna get another Oscar this year. I think so. Um, since he got the Golden Globe, but basically he's gone back to back to back with just oh, he also did the music. Speaking of Christopher Nolan, he also did the music for Tenet as well.
Oh.
He's so talented. So, do either of you know that like him and Ryan were classmates in
Wow.
college together? So they've been working together since they were
What?
kids at film school. Yes.
That's just
Yeah.
like Spike Lee.
Exactly. Spike Lee with Ernest Dickinson. Yeah.
So wholesome.
Wow.
Yeah, that's his they've known each other since undergrad, I think.
Wow.
They linked up in like a film class and just changed the trajectory of film history and their own personal careers
That's
just by
amazing.
making that connection. Yeah, Ludwig, he's for like I hate to say this, but like for a white guy who like what he he's very good about how he used the music and how authentic he made the blues soundtrack in this movie. He's incredible, and also one of my like dearest friends, Daniel, who's a musician, who came up on blues music as well, and is currently a performer out in LA who does a lot of
Wow.
blues and bluegrass performances. I'm gonna probably add like a little voice note from him in here, but
Yay.
basically I asked him the other day, just like via text, I was like, what is it structurally about like the Delta blues that makes it so distinct and so special? And how do you feel it was used in Sinners?
Hello, Post Film Clarity. This is your old pal, musician, and movie nerd Daniel Grimsland. Thanks so much for having me on your Sinners episode. I'm really excited to be here. This is such a great movie. I just watched it now, just before recording this. It's my third time seeing it, and I think I loved it even more on my third time than I did any of the others. It's so good, and I'm sure you all are covering all the reasons why. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about the blues, and in particular the Delta blues that they reference and talk about a lot in Sinners. And Sinners takes place in Clarksdale, Mississippi, which in blues history and lore is sort of the birthplace of the blues in a way. That's where famously the crossroads are. That's where Robert Johnson went to sell his soul to the devil in order to play the guitar that good. Now, I am by no means an expert in this subject, but I am a lover and an appreciator and someone who is very much inspired by the blues. And something that I do know without question about the blues is that without it, we wouldn't have any other music. I mean, of course, that's not entirely true, but what we know today as modern music is really so much based on the blues. The blues is the skeleton of what we know and love as modern music. Anything from rock and roll to R&B to pop to whatever, country music, it's all got the bones of the blues in it. And that's why, for me, it's just such an important genre of music, if you can want to call it that. Just what it is the essence of what we know of music today. So it's so important and so cool. And the way that Sinners talks about the blues and gives the world a little bit of history and lore is just such a creative and fun way to do it. And I just love this movie, man. So anyway, let's get into the nitty gritty of the Delta blues. So there's blues from all over America, right? Every region kind of has its own sound and its own feel and its own essence. But specifically, the Delta blues, as I will now read from my research, is one of the earliest known styles of the blues. It originated in the Mississippi Delta, and it is regarded as a regional variant of country blues. Guitar and harmonica are the dominant instruments. Slide guitar is also a hallmark of the style. So the Mississippi Delta is located in sort of the northwestern part of the state. It borders on Arkansas and Louisiana. It sits between the Mississippi and Yazoo rivers, and it has been called the most southern place on Earth. So imagine it's the early 20th century. It's hot there, it's muggy, and people are out working in the fields. And they're singing songs that they brought with them from home. And these songs eventually evolve into what we know as the blues. And this music was finally recorded in the 1920s. There were lots of people to name, but just to name a few, Charlie Patton, Son House, Robert Johnson were all people that kind of came out of the 1920s, and into the 30s it grew and it grew and grew and grew and became the foundation of what we now know as modern music. Thank you all for having me come on and talk a little bit about this. I'm really honored to be on the show with you all, and I hope this gives you some context and maybe answer some questions that you might have had about the blues and the Delta blues in particular. Again, I'm not an expert. There's a lot to learn. It is a huge, huge spread of incredible music and musicians, and please dive deep. It's worth it. All right. So long.
Thank you. I was like, Dan, I need you.
Hi, Dan.
Yeah. Hey, Dan. It just needs to be said that Autumn Durald Arkapaw is the first woman to shoot a movie in IMAX format, like ever. Um,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah. And she also shot this movie on film. In the interview we watched with her, she pointed out that this movie feels like such a good representation of Ryan's um, decision making process and how he does things for the benefit of the benefit of us as an audience. She said he makes a lot of bold, brave choices with the structure of his films and with the visuals of his films. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the choices that Ryan made and that Autumn made to switch between the width and the height of the aspect ratio of this movie, Alex, because we saw it in the like intended the 143, the 1.43 IMAX format,
Mm-hmm.
which is a much taller screen, and then the other way, the standard way, is the 276, the wide anamorphic format.
Oh.
And you noticed how at certain points it was switching between like um, when we saw this together the first time. Did you notice that it was switching back and forth between wide and tall?
Yes, I was very surprised because like yeah, you don't really see that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too familiar with like how often it's seen, but it sounds like it's not seen very often. But I feel like it was really cool because I mean, I love thriller, horror kind of stuff, but like that shrinking,
Mm-hmm.
oh wow, you can really, really feel it. It's like you're there. It's like you're there.
Yes.
It's so cool. That was the first time I've
And
experienced anything like that.
yeah, it's like one of the more notable times I've ever. I guess it's the first time I've ever been in a movie where I noticed it was happening, you know? Like, and I think you did the same thing I did, Alex, when you saw this for the first time in IMAX, where the. It's, who is it? It's Sammy and Stack and Delta Slim in the car, and
Yes.
the screen, like, stretched, like, it just widens up, and you
Oh
get,
my
like, this
gosh.
huge view of the cotton field as they're driving through it down this stretch of road, and it's so vast. Um, and I think Ryan said that he was choosing with Autumn, the director, the cinematographer, when like he wanted to switch between the tall and the wide when he wanted to show like big emotional
Mm.
moments and to like literal to visualize those big moments that way is so fucking genius. It's like it trains your eye to look at like a wider to get a wider view of it. Literally, you're getting a
Yeah.
wider view, a bigger perspective of what's going on in the world and how they fit within it. And I love also during Sammy's big musical moment, it
Oh
switches, yeah,
yeah.
it switches to the huge like tall, and you've watched it at home, Lindsay, right?
Mm-hmm.
um this is one of the first movies, Autumn brings it up in an interview, where that same thing happens at home when you stream it.
Oh,
Wow.
It's
wow.
just, yeah, it's just, of course it's a TV screen, so it's on a smaller like ratio, but like that switching between like full screen like top to bottom and like widescreen
Oh, it's
left to
so
right
cool.
is still happening when you stream that movie right now on HBO Max.
Wow.
The amount of care that it must have they had to put into that, and the did you notice, Alex, like she kept saying like they had to shoot everything for both formats. Like they had to shoot all
Yeah.
of this movie on both cameras.
That's
Like
crazy.
everything had to be done on IMAX. Everything had to be done again on the anamorphic lens. Like everything had to, and then they had to make sure that she was basically framing everything so that it wouldn't get cut off on a TV versus
Wow.
anamorphic versus IMAX. So she literally had to think of how to shoot everything three fucking ways.
That is crazy. Like she is an artist.
Genius.
Wow. Genius
Artist.
artist.
Exactly.
Yes.
She actually, it's funny you point that out, Alex. She actually is an artist. She originally was
Really?
in art school.
I can see that. I like you can
Yeah.
tell. It shows.
Yeah.
It's wow.
Yeah.
That's
She went to
amazing.
art school. I think she said she originally wanted to work in like yeah, she said she started out in like art curation and wanted to work at
Wow.
Sotheby's and in like art museums, and then kind of fell into photography, and then through photography started shooting video, and
Wow.
learning and went through like a filmmaking program. So yeah, you are correct to identify that she's an artist, literally.
Wow.
And she also mentioned Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight specifically, but
Oh.
the cinematographer of the Dark Knight trilogy, Wally Pfister, um, and like what seeing his movies when she was like learning how to shoot movies, like what that did for her as far as like
Wow.
her perspective and scope on how big movies could be is through like Wally Pfister's cinematography in Christopher Nolan movies. And I just
Wow.
love that connection like Ryan has to Nolan, and that Autumn has to Wally, who is his cinematographer. Like
Wow.
I love that.
It's full
Wally
circle.
Pfister, by the way, right? He also shot Inception and The Prestige.
What? Oh my
Ooh,
gosh.
I
I should
love The
have
Prestige.
known. It's all
Me too.
It's a good
connected.
movie.
Right. It's all connected. And oh, I already brought it up, but yeah, Christopher Nolan, he screened this movie for him. And I guess Nolan had advised Ryan on how to shoot this movie in IMAX, because it's a lot of the same techniques we saw for Oppenheimer, Lindsay.
Oh.
Um, so again, the full circle connections of like what we see in movies and what we love is the same thing that Ryan is seeing and loving.
Wow.
That just like it's so fucking cool to think about. Like he's I just love him so much. So yeah, that is Sinners. We went long in this one, but I don't care.
Did not feel like it at all.
It really
Good,
didn't.
good, good. We had so much to say, and there's so
Yeah.
much that I wanted to make sure that we covered about this movie, and we still, aren't going to hit every single aspect, but I think overall, this movie, like I said, you can just feel how much everybody loved making this and what knowledge and inspiration and passion they brought to this movie. And I just want to see more things like this out in the world.
Yes.
Hmm.
We need to have more of these, more than just one guy, basically, who's able to get the budget and the crew and cast to do movies like this. So I know in my heart of hearts that this movie is opening up the eyes of the next Ryan Coogler in the
Yes.
same way that Malcolm X opened up his eyes.
Hmm.
It's I just got chills thinking about that, but this movie is going to be somebody's Malcolm X, and getting to see him have that moment with Spike Lee and get to tell him that and give him his flowers while they're both still here, um, and able to love each other and appreciate each other's work. It's such an honor to witness and to see the visual connection, of their works, like compare and contrast like that. It's so we didn't even plan this, like covering Malcolm X when we did, and then
Yeah.
covering Sinners, and while that variety video came out where they say like what we, Lindsay, I guess, were seeing behind the scenes, just like, yeah, these two are connected. Speaking of which, he used Ruth E. Carter as his
Oh,
costume
oh my
designer,
gosh, yes.
the same costume designer who did Malcolm X and a bunch of Spike's other
Whoa.
Hmm.
movies. I knew I forgot something. So yeah, the Delroy Lindo connection is there, but then also Ruth E. Carter, um, who did Spike's Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, Bamboozled,
Wow.
Malcolm X, and she was the costumer on Black Panther for Ryan Coogler. So she works for both of them, and it's so beautiful to see them sharing creators and sharing art. So yeah, I just wanted to shout out Ruth Carter again. Carter again, we love her. And the clothing design in this movie, she said she wanted to showcase Black dignity and resilience and artistry, not just pain and suffering. Um, I think the clothing in this movie is beautiful, and you can see the connection straight to the Lindy Hop scene in Malcolm X, which she also did the costumes for. I just love the connection between him and Spike, and that we get to be here to see that. Um, so yeah, that I wanted to make sure we uh that we talked
Yeah.
about Ruth Carter as well. Ooh, I almost forgot. I would have been so pissed. And do we have any recommendations for similar work or work with similar themes? I'm going to put a bunch of stuff in the show notes. Basically, half of what we read and watched for this episode will be in the show notes. But what did you want to add to it? I'll start with you, Lindsay.
Well, you wrote this one, Marquita, but it's definitely the one that I would have put to Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, Marquita, you know me so well. um,
From the band draft.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, she'll understand why I'm starting her off with this one.
Yeah. Also, they cloned Tyrone. I can't remember a lot. So it's a lot of these movies we've already recommended because this is just our ongoing theme, really.
because of
Malcolm X.
Spike Lee. Yeah,
Spike
yeah,
Lee.
exactly.
Also, Killers of the Flower Moon. Have you guys seen Queen of the Damned?
I have
yes.
not.
It's
Yeah. I'm a big Anne Rice person, so yes, I saw that. I was in middle school when that came out.
wow. Yeah, like
Yeah.
vampire
With
movie
Aaliyah.
with Aaliyah and really good music. Also
Oh,
Opus.
you'll like it, Alex.
Yeah.
Add this to the
Opus.
list.
Which I
haven't seen this one
just
yet.
recently watched this.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Who's in this?
Io Debris, our
Mm-hmm.
absolute favorite. That's the only person I can remember. That's the only person
that's
that's all you
back
need.
to back IO mentions.
Yeah. And Devil in a Blue Dress, which was one of Ryan Coogler's Criterion picks. Which
Perfect.
I haven't seen this. I really need to see this now.
I think this was playing at the Alamo, but we didn't get to see it. I feel like this was one of the like Black History Month movies
okay.
they were showing. All I know about this movie, I haven't seen it yet either. I've seen clips of it, and Denzel is so fucking hot in this movie.
Denzel and Jennifer Beals. Are you freaking kidding me?
Woo! Yeah, from Flashdance. Yeah. We need to see this movie, Lindsay.
Yes. Yes, we do.
That's a great. I'm so glad I put that in there and that you had time to watch it, because I was like, I'm sure Ryan has like a fucking gem and a banger in there that Lindsay and I are gonna appreciate and really want to see. Yeah, I definitely want to see Devil in a Blue Dress. Thank you for picking that one out. And what about you, Alex? What do you got for us?
All right, so I have some book recommendations. So when I was watching Sinners, I thought about this one book called A Brief History of Seven Killings, and it's about Jamaican history and then also the attempted assassination of Bob Marley. So I feel like that one's just a cool
Crazy.
one. It's like, just some untold history, so that's really cool. On, like taking some relating the vampires to actual vampires. We have The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. I think they also made that into a movie, actually.
They did. I think it's a HBO television movie, so you
Oh,
might be able
okay.
to find that on HBO Max.
So I've only read the book, but it's amazing, and it's some history that I feel like everybody should know about. It's about Henrietta Lacks, who was a black woman with cancer, and her cancer cells were taken from her, used for research to this day, and this was all without her consent.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you want to delve into the real vampires of the modern day, some
Period.
crazy,
The
crazy, crazy
medical
stuff.
industry,
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
they
So,
stole her blood and used it to
Like-
benefit white people and never paid her or compensated her family. Wait, actually her family just won, I think, their lawsuit that had been going on
let's
for
go.
decades. They did this woman so dirty, Lindsay.
Crazy.
Yeah, I actually I read this story in school, and
Oh, nice.
my university actually had some of her cancer cells.
Shut up.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah. They did awful, awful things to her and just left her in so much pain. And yeah, not enough people know like how monumental she was to like modern day science today. It's
Yes.
it's insane.
Yep. Oh, that's such a good pull, Alex. Yeah,
Crazy.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad that you brought. That's like a really. That's a direct one-to-one vampirism
Yeah.
right there. Thank you.
I was like, let's get
That's a
the real
genius pick.
vampires. Um,
Yep.
movie
What else you
wise,
got?
I mentioned Minari.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a really good like real life telling of immigrants in America and just that experience. And um another movie, Infernal Affairs. So, as a Chinese American and also like someone with Hong
Mm-hmm.
Kong roots, so fun fact, The Departed
I love this movie.
is is based off of Infernal Affairs. So Infernal Affairs is the Hong Kong original. So
Yep.
it's it's amazing. It should be watched. It's so good. The Departed also is amazing. I think they're both amazing
Mm-hmm.
in their own ways. But yeah, had to
I
recommend
like
that one.
Infernal Affairs better.
Me too.
I
Me
said it.
too.
I'm
Me
sorry. I'm
too.
sorry, Marty. You're my goat, but the Departed is literally, Lindsay, almost like a word for word, shot for shot remake of Infernal
It's
Affairs. It's
crazy.
fucking insane. Like the same story, everything's the same except I think like what they're like stealing or spying, like whatever the organized crime is,
Hmm.
like in The Departed it's microprocessors or some computer chip. Infernal Affairs it's something different, but everything else is exactly the same. I
Yep.
was like,
Shot for
come on,
shot.
guys.
Yeah, so I grew up watching Infernal Affairs, like my dad was always watching it, and then the first time I saw The
That movie
Departed,
fucking rules.
I was like, what's happening? I was like, wait.
Wait.
I was like, what?
Yep.
Yeah, so I had to recommend that one.
Also, cultural vampirism.
There we go. There we go. It's, yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Oh, it sure is. Like, not you reselling my own
No,
movie back to me.
literally. One of my other recommendations was going to be some music, which Kingfish we already
Yep.
talked about.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then Tlaibet Sophia. I don't know if I'm saying that name right. But she's like a another modern blues artist that I've been getting into more
Okay.
recently. So give
Oh,
a plug
awesome.
there. Yeah. So yeah.
Perfect. So well rounded. You gave us books, you gave us movie, you gave
Yeah.
us music.
The
I love
non-movie
that.
gal.
All types of media.
No, it's perfect. I respect it. I appreciate that.
What about you, Marquita?
So I'm gonna recommend. Of course, we've been talking about it all episode and just how important it was to Ryan as a filmmaker and a fan of films growing up. But of course, Malcolm X by Spike Lee. Also, if you haven't listened to our episode on it, take a look back at it. We covered it a couple months ago. Specifically for Malcolm X, I want to highlight the Lindy Hop scene, which the juke joint dance scenes, very similar vibe there. Obviously, it's the same costumer. It's a similar space, like a a large open space where black people are dancing and enjoying each other, um, and have like a big dance number together. And in that scene too, actually, the Lindy Hop scene, there's the one white lady who's just there, who
Yeah.
shouldn't be there. Interesting parallel there. And also for the depiction of the Detroit Red era of Malcolm's life, um, which is where Delroy Lindo shows up as West Indian Archie. I just love everything about this movie and how it shows again a black dignity as well. I think that's what is probably part of why Ryan was so inspired by it growing up. I totally get it. I'm also going to recommend The Color Purple. I have not seen The new one, the musical one, visually, I've heard it's very similar, and it's got like a lot more color and vibrancy and joy and musicality to it. But if you're gonna go for the original, the Spielberg one with Whoopi Goldberg, and Oprah as well, um, you could check that one out. I think it's 85, 84. Get Out by Jordan Peele. Of
That's a really
course, if
good
you want
one.
to talk, thank you, allegorical horror about the horror of being around too many white people. and and again, another good way to depict vampirism by stealing their minds and their bodies. That movie traumatized the fuck out of me, but it's very good. Um, Get Out by Jordan Peele is like a perfect pairing for Sinners.
Yeah.
Also, Eve's Bayou and Beasts of the Southern Wild. I wanted to include these for the depiction of uh, Black Southern Gothic culture
Mm.
and how important that is to the story of Sinners and the Mississippi Delta as well. Um, I haven't seen the next couple I'm going to recommend. Ryan Coogler had spoken about Don't Look Now, so I'm going to add that to the list. I can't remember why he had picked it, but I think he pointed that out in the conversation with Spike Lee. And speaking of Spike Lee, I'm also going to recommend another one of his, The Five Bloods. Have you seen either of you seen this one?
Mm-mm.
No.
This is Delroy Lindo.
Oh.
Um,
Oh.
yeah, as a I'm pretty sure this he's leading a group of black men throughout Vietnam. I think
Mm.
this is a Vietnam movie, and apparently Delroy's performance in it is lights out. Like he got like a huge Oscar snub. I remember it being talked about after it came out as like a huge Oscar snub for Delroy Lindo. What else is new? Um, and to check out his performance in this, so I really want to see that one. Green Room is the same makeup artist. We didn't touch on
Mm.
this. We ran out of time, but the makeup artist for Green Room is the same makeup artist and visual effects person who did the vampire makeup and all of the scarring and blood for Sinners. So Ryan had saw his work in Green Room and wanted to work with him. And also apparently I haven't seen Green Room yet, but it's a movie that deals with musicians and racism and um like stealing people's work and getting credit for it as far as I understand. And they're all trapped in a green room together, I believe. So I think that's
Oh,
part of why
interesting.
Ryan had been watching it. Yeah. There's a lot of people. Oh, Patrick Stewart is in it. There's a lot of big actors in that one. I really want to check that one out. Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. We talked about Ernest Dickerson earlier, who's Spike's cinematographer. Ernest Dickerson made this Tales from the Crypt movie in 1995 that I guess Ryan had seen as a kid and loved. And he said that Demon Knight was a big visual reference for him for Sinners. So again, that Spike Lee connection, you can see it through what he references and who he works with. So Tales from the Crypt episode, I don't think that one's streaming anywhere. I looked it up. I don't think it's streaming, but if you can find it, check it out. Passing Through. Why did I put that one on here? Oh, okay. I see. So this is about a jazz musician who joins a revolution out in LA, and he I see. He was released from prison for the killing of a white gangster. Um it's a movie directed by Larry Clark, and it's in the National Film Registry of Congress. So
Whoa.
apparently this is like a like totem of Black American cinema. So that I
Wow.
get why this movie was mentioned for when it came to Sinners discourse. So I definitely want to check that one out too. Passing Through by Larry Clark. I believe that one is streaming somewhere. I'll have to look that up and I'll put it in the letterbox list that we always make. So yeah, I knew I threw a lot of recommendations. I always do. But that's because I do my research. So that's everything I had for Sinners.
So, what's going to be our next episode?
So we're doing a special episode. The next one is going to be me and Hallie Platts. We're running back our Oscars coverage for 2026. In order to prep for this, I have watched, I think, 15 movies in the last, like, 2 weeks.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to watch a lot of 2025 movies because as we're recording this episode, the nominees aren't out yet. So
Ooh.
I don't know what's going to be nominated or what I need to watch. So I'm just watching everything from 2025 that I can get my hands on. And yeah, Hallie and I are going to I think she's seen everything too now at this point except for No Other Choice by Park Chan-wook, which just came out. Fucking amazing, by the way. You would both love it. And yeah, so we're going to do an Oscars episode again this year and make predictions and talk about like celebrity news and the structure of the Oscars this year. And yeah, we're just gonna get everybody briefed on the nominees and what to look out for on the Oscars.
Well, thank you, Alex, for coming on this episode.
Thanks for having me, y'all. This is so much fun.
I'm so happy you got to do this with us. Thank you so much
Yeah, this is
for
so good.
yeah, this is oh my god. I loved my experience with you seeing this in person and I loved, you know, getting to talk about it with you 10 months later. So thank you for coming on
Of
and
course.
diving into this with us.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Please email us at postfilmclaritypod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at postfilmclaritypod. All of our episodes are closed captioned on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Letterboxd at postfilmclarity. There's a list of recommendations and referenced work from this and every episode.
And we'll see you next week for the Oscars. Bye, honeys.